visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality.
प्रदीप जी, ये 8 साल का बच्चा कोमा में है, पुलिस 5 दिन से कुछ नहीं कर पाई है अभी तक। वो जो पिस्टल है, लाइसेंस पिस्टल है, वो तक बरामद नहीं कर पाई है। आपके ही विधानसभा के लोग हैं सर, जवाब मांग रहे हैं आपसे। प्रदीप जी, एक जवाब, आपके ही लोग हैं, आपसे सर, एक बच्चा 8 साल का, आप बिल्कुल आप भोजन कर लीजिएगा। एक 8 साल का
अपराधी है, उसमें उसको सजा मिलेगी। पुलिस ने FIR दर्ज करा ली, वो लश्त करेगी।
सर 5 दिन हो गए बच्चा।
कोई बात नहीं है ना, पुलिस ने FIR दर्ज कर ली ना।
अभी 5 दिन में क्यों? क्योंकि अभी तक उनको वो लाइसेंस वेपन है वो भी बरामद।
विधानसभा में चली, विधानसभा से आई तो माता वैष्णो देवी चले गए। अभी कल लौटे, कल उसके परिवार के लोग आए थे।
आपकी उनके परिवार वालों से अभी तक बात हो पाई?
कल उन परिवार में संस्कार आया था, मेरे को नहीं पता क्या परिवार में है, लेकिन मैंने उनसे कहा कि जो भी मदद हुई करेगी।
सीधा सवाल मेरा आपसे है, ये बताइए कितने लोग इसमें इन्वॉल्व थे और आप लोगों की क्या भूमिका रही है इसमें? क्या सवाल सर ये बताइए 3 लोग जो आपने सस्पेंड किए गए लोग, उन लोगों के नाम बताइए आपने, कौन वो लोग थे जिनको सस्पेंड किया गया?
ऑथराइज नहीं हो बोलने के लिए।
अच्छा, उसके साथ आप बताइए क्या थर्ड पार्टी भी इन्वॉल्व है इसमें? थर्ड पार्टी भी इन्वॉल्व है इसमें क्या? क्योंकि पैसा इसमें गया है 590 करोड़। क्या पैसा सर
आपको चोट लग जाएगी?
पैसा इन्वॉल्व है क्या इसमें? आप बताइए। थर्ड पार्टी रिपब्लिक टीवी सवाल पूछ रहा है आपसे, आप बताइए क्या इसमें और लोग भी इन्वॉल्व है क्या?
राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि वो आप गलत कह रहे हैं। राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं। भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ। राहुल जी, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं, गलत आर्टिकल का हवाला दे रहे हैं, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं कर रहे हैं। जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आपने अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला दिया है, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ। राहुल जी, आपने गलत कहा था, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला।
Ma'am, what are the
investigation is going on. We cooperate with you.
See, you can currently see the AIB officials. Some officials have come out of the office. So, what are the angles you are proving, sir? Ma'am, what are the angles that you are proving in the incidents?
We are in process.
Sir, can you please tell us something about the incident?
I will come back, surely.
Sir, अब क्या reaching outside? Can you please tell us?
I will come back.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us here on the live report. It's 12 p.m. getting you exclusive details of Anil Ambani, who is at the Enforcement Directorate in the national capital. He's been forced to appear. Skipped several summons in the past, was summoned at least 4 times. He's appeared today in the national capital. We have details of the fraud on the show. Here are the headlines. Businessman Anil Ambani finally appears at the Enforcement Directorate a few days after giving an undertaking in the court that he will not leave India. Full Anil Ambani fraud file accessed by Republic TV. Details with Republic TV show that Anil Ambani group companies took over 15,000 crore in loans from Chinese banks. Some more details accessed by Republic. Himachal Pradesh police and Delhi police facing off over Congress workers in connection with the AI summit investigation. The war of words continues. Indian Army warns Pakistan, saying that in case there is another war, we can enter Pakistan via the land route if required. Getting in some breaking news on top of 12 p.m. on the Anil Ambani fraud. Republic TV has accessed the full file. The full file and the attachment order which was given out by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday. His home in Mumbai, which is called the Abode, valued at over 3,700 crore, has been attached by the Enforcement Directorate. And Anil Ambani, who has in the last 1 year almost skipped summons at least 4 times, was forced to appear this morning. Let's go across straight to those pictures that came in along with the breaking news update coming in. Anil Ambani, forced to appear before the ED this morning in the 40,000 crore fraud. There are details we've picked up. There are many details. But among the details that have been picked up, let's go across to the breaking news updates with the visuals. The exclusive details, those are pictures coming in. The exclusive details we have picked up is of the Chinese loans. Chinese loans. Shravan, if you can tell us a little bit more about the loans that were taken by the Anil Ambani group. Shravan? Sarthak is also joining us live. Okay, while I go across to Shravan, let me also go across to Sarthak, joining us with some of the details as Anil Ambani appears in court. Sarthak, 40,000 crore fraud. What are the questions that the Enforcement Directorate will have for Anil Ambani? What is the focus of their investigation today?
ED is looking at the entire case from a fraud angle, and the new report that Republic has accessed recently about the Chinese bank loan, that may also be taken into consideration by ED, that Reliance Communication and Anil Ambani, this is not the first time they are under this fraudulent act. This is something that they might come across as repeated offenders. Because just to give a little background on the Chinese bank loan to Reliance Communication, in 2012, 3 banks, including China Development Bank, Export-Import Bank of China, and Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, they extended a loan about 925 million USD. If we convert that into Indian rupees, that will total the amount to a little over 6,000 crores, close to 7,000 crores. They extended this much loan to Reliance Communications that was led by Anil Ambani. And also the information that we have received, the loan was structured to replace foreign currency convertible bonds that were maturing. And the banks claim that Anil Ambani's group provided a personal guarantee for that facility. On that note, it has also come into Republic's knowledge that Reliance Communication began defaulting on these payments to these 3 Chinese banks around 2017, after which these banks filed a lawsuit in the UK, in the High Court of England and Wales, where they were seeking to recover the owed amount that was nearly 700 million USD. Anil Ambani's defense in that case was that he only provided a non-binding comfort letter, and he never signed a personal asset-backed guarantee. He and his lawyers also argued that his net worth was depleted, and there was his telecommunication business was also collapsing. So in a layman's language, he was trying to project his business as and himself as insolvent, and due to which he was unable to repay the loan. In May 2020, UK court also ruled that the personal guarantee on Anil Ambani was binding, and the court ordered to pay the banks around $700 million, a little over 700 million USD. The Anil Ambani's spokesperson stated that the UK judgment would not have immediate effect in India. So this is this one development that, although it is not directly connected to ED's probe in this case because it's a separate matter, but a repeated offender in terms of not being able to pay the loan amount, and repeated offender in this fraud-related cases might be taken into consideration by EB and may try to extract more details regarding this. Back to you.
Stay with me. Shravan is also live. And Shravan, this is interesting. Now, we've gone through the details of that file. I mean, you're looking at that file. Where does the Chinese bank loan come from? Now, what is the China angle here and why is it interesting? 15,000 crore is a big amount of money.
Well, in fact, I just want to take our viewers through this probe document, which gives us a sense of the extent of the scam that we're basically talking about. The loans that were allegedly received by companies linked to Anil Ambani. A new link basically emerges, and that's sensational in nature. That is about the funds that were basically coming in from Chinese companies. In fact, there have been multiple litigations because from this probe document, it seems that from the seizure that was basically made from Anil Ambani's residence and Anil Ambani's companies, it does appear that there was an attempt that was being made by the family itself to divert the funds. In fact, I just want to show you this particular document, and perhaps I'll going to come a little closer here and take a look at this document, in which there is a clear mention of the outstanding loan amounts from the consortium banks as well as non-consortium banks which constitute the proceeds of crime. Now, here you have the enforcement directorate saying that this money that was received by RAG, which is the company linked to Anil Ambani, and the outstanding funds, take a look at here. China Development Bank, 9,134 crore rupees. Export-Import Bank of China, 3,048 crore rupees. Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, 1,374 crore rupees, and total Chinese lenders is about 13,558 crore rupees. Now that's what it is basically mentioned as far as the Chinese lenders are concerned. The other big breaking news now coming in, Niranjan, in fact we've just been able to go through this entire set of documents, is the personal guarantee that was actually given by Anil Ambani.
No, not quite.
All this while, remember the position that was basically taken by Anil Ambani was the fact that he wasn't even part of the board when these decisions were actually taken. Now, I'm going to show you one particular document till the time, Niranjan, if you can just hold this, because I will have to just sift through this paper and just quickly take you through page number 48, in which there is the personal guarantee that has been given by Anil Ambani to State Bank of India, based on which at least two of the companies linked to Anil Ambani, that is RCOM and RTIL, they had both basically received funds from State Bank of India, stating that the personal guarantee would be given by Anil Ambani. Perhaps, Niranjan, if you can just hold this, because I'll have to just flip the pages.
Yeah.
It's page number 48, which makes a mention of the personal guarantee that has been given, and more importantly, we have a copy of that personal guarantee that has been given by Anil Ambani to the State Bank of India. Now this here,
we are live on you. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Yeah,
can
you show that, please? Yes, zoom into that.
Personal guarantee by Anil Ambani to State Bank of India. During the course of the investigation, the documents pertaining, can we just not show this? RTI here. Focus here. RITL were submitted by SBI. These loans have been discussed previously in the order. In the said documents, one of the securities for sanctioning of these loans was the personal guarantee of Anil Ambani as the guarantor in favor of SBI. Now take a look at this. This is the stamp paper form. This is the personal guarantee. This is personal guarantee signed by none other than, here take a look at it, attested here, signed by Anil Ambani. So it is Anil Ambani who had given personal guarantee of repaying these particular loans. So it's very clear from the fact that Anil Ambani was very much aware, not only aware from these documents, take a look at once again, from these documents, it's very clear that Anil Ambani had given he had essentially given a personal guarantee for availing these loans.
Yes. Now, today, Shravan, today when you look at the case against Anil Ambani, he's got 40,000 crore and more in outstanding loans, right? Now, in the past, he has claimed that he was not even, calling the shots here. His aim has been to sort of try and evade the responsibility. But what does the file show? What does the file show? And will those questions still remain for him when he goes in now? Is he cooperating? What more do we know? Does he face a possible arrest? Because 40,000 crore is one of India's biggest scams, right? Bigger than Lalit Modi, bigger than Vijay Mallya, bigger than Nirav Modi, bigger than Mehul Choksi. In fact, all four of them combined will be 40,000 crore. This could be bigger than all of it. It could be a mother of all scams.
Well, in fact, that is the reason why questions were basically first raised about the role of the investigating agencies itself. Why did it take the investigative agencies so very long, starting from the Central Bureau of Investigation to the Enforcement Directorate? Now, in fact, if you take a look at the tranche of documents that have been accessed by Republic TV, it shows that the Central Bureau of Investigation had already filed the FIR. It seems that this is between 2016, a little after 2016, when the bulk of the loans that were basically received by Anil Ambani. Now, take a look at these documents. I want to just show you again, because here they make a mention of the investigation that was basically with respect to Anil Ambani and Arcom. They are clearly stating that digital records that were downloaded from Bombay Stock Exchange website pertaining to the shareholding of Arcom starting from the quarter ending June 2008. As per the filings, Arcom from the period June 2006 and 2025 the promoters includes Anil Ambani, Tina Ambani, Jay Anmol Ambani, Jay Anshul Ambani. Now, all of this was available to the investigative agencies in the past too. What is it that they have found now? An answer which has come in from the sources is that they've been able to basically establish the money trail. Now, the question is, could this have been done earlier, is something that they may have to answer before the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court has also now intervened and have asked the central agencies to submit a status report every month. So there is pressure that is building on the investigating agencies to also build a watertight case.
I'm quickly going across, Shravan, stay with me. I'm quickly going across to Sarthak as well, because he's still being questioned. For how many hours has he been there, Sarthak? What time did he come in? For how long has he been there? And for how long is he likely to be at the ED?
Well, Niranjan, there is no official statement that has come out from ED or any official. But what we know of that, he has been there for a couple of hours, and ED is trying to question him regarding the loan frauds. Was he doing it deliberately? Was he aware of it? Was it just a default, or he was purposely trying to avoid the entire situation and not repay the loan? These are certain questions, certain details about how much amount has in total he has taken as loan so far. And the ED is trying to question about the business attachments of Reliance Communication and the past dealing that the Reliance Communication has done. Has Reliance Communication taken any more loan? These are certain questions, because so far what we know of that the amount exceeds nearly 40,000 crore, which is a very big amount. And ED has attached recently his Pali Hill residence board as well, which is worth nearly over 3,500 crores, which make the total provisional attachments now around 15,000 crores, or a little over 15,000 crore, which is a major escalation. The agency also says that the probe traces alleged diversion in loans to group companies. Previously, Ambani was summoned several times since August. What we know of, he has been summoned nearly 6 times, and he tried to avoid those summons. He even filed a written affidavit in the courts where he said that he will be adhering to the investigation. He would not be traveling abroad. Maybe he was trying to take a legal route to create an impression that he is not going to abscond. He is not going to out of country, and maybe he was trying to evade the entire fraud classification that was going around regarding this loan default. So on those notes, is there any other attachment left? What are the legal documents?
Okay. I'm leaving it at that. Sarthak, there's some more breaking news updates coming in right now. I'm leaving it at that, but let's go first to the next breaking news coming in right now. There are 2 or 3 more breaking news updates coming in on the show this afternoon. Ajit Pawar's aide claims the black box is intact. There is a big twist, huge twist to the Ajit Pawar crash. Now his aide claims that the black box was always safe, that the black box was taken by the police, the black box was kept safe in the police station in Baramati. Now, why is this news? Because the DGCA had earlier claimed, and the AAIB, which investigates accidents, air accidents, had also claimed that the black box was severely damaged. Now, these are claims being made by Ajit Pawar faction. There is also a picture. Can we show the pictures, please? Picture that was released. Picture of the black box that was stored in the Baramati police station is also available. I want to go across to Revati to get the details as we pull out those pictures as well. Revati, what is this twist and how does it add up? Because the DGCA has been saying in the last few days that the black box was badly damaged. They were trying to retrieve details from it via forensic examination being sent abroad. But now you're telling us, yes, that's the visual, that's exclusive visual. Let's put a watermark on it. That's an exclusive watermark. That is a picture. Exclusive watermark. Now, what does this picture show? This picture allegedly shows that on the 29th of January 2026, you see the AAIB, K. Ramachandran, Deputy Director, AAIB, inspected that black box. Now, it appears if the black box was inspected, is it the same black box that the government, that the DGCA claimed was damaged? And why does this not add up? Revati, and we'll also get Harsha live on this. Revati.
Right, as you rightly mentioned, the new shocking information over Ajit Pawar plane crash is coming up, and this is the very information that Republic has got hand of. According to the sources, it says that the black box in the Ajit Pawar's aircraft, it is safe and it is kept in Baramati's Taluka police station. And today, Rohit Pawar is visiting that very police station. As of now, NCP, Ajit Pawar faction or Sharad Pawar faction, both have been claiming that the black box is burned. But as of now, the information that is coming up, according to the sources, that the black box is safe. And now, more shocking information is that Kiran Gujar, who is a close aide and former corporator and also the Taluka president of NCP Ajit Pawar faction, he also claimed that he has got a report on this black box being safe and being at Baramati Taluka police station. Also, it is being said by the sources that the black box, which is safe at Baramati Taluka police station, the note of it has been made by a diary which is there at Taluka police station as well. So now it will be important to see that Rohit Pawar, who is currently at Baramati Taluka police station, what exactly he demands, what FIR is he lodge, and exactly where is the black box and where it has been all these days. Is the are the proofs tampered? There are many questions around it. So now, once the official statement of the agencies come up, then it will be important to see that what exactly was the matter with the black box these days. Over to you.
Okay. Harsha joining us live. Harsha, what's the official version on the black box? And is this the black box that they claimed was damaged? What do you make of these developments? What are you hearing from the DGCA and your sources?
So Niranjan, it's immensely misleading because AIB 1 week ago only shared with all the media persons with the entire statement which came from AIB that they are sending the DFDR which was immensely damaged because of the heat exposure. That and CVR has been sent to state manufacturers for the retrieval of the credentials and data. And now when the Revti is also speaking about that how it has been in the Baramati police station, and the police station in charge has seen it at 2 a.m. and they are claiming that it's entirely safe. But exactly why is the black box in the police station? Why is the black box kept at police station when it should be with the state manufacturers for the retrieval of the credential? Niranjan, we have just now shared entire details with DGCA as well to know more on this, and what we are learning is that DGCA is also unaware. DGCA is unaware, completely unknown about the fact that the black box is right now at the Baramati police station. They were only aware that it is with the AIB in the AIB lab, and after that it was sent to the state manufacturer to retrieve the credential because it was damaged with the heat explosion, heat caused during the crash. But there's a new information which are learning, and it's immensely shocking that AIB has misled not only the family members of Mr. Pawar but also to the media by stating that it has been sent to the state manufacturers. A week ago also AIB maintained its stance by stating that the final report will be out in 30 days and major data has been retrieved from the CVR. Only DFDR is left which was damaged, and the data is being retrieved, and now what we are learning is that it's kept at police station. That means no data is retrieved, no credential is out, it's not with the state manufacturers, and exactly what is happening with the black box, that's the bigger question. And we have also spoken to DGCA. They are unaware about it, Niranjan. They will speak to AIB and get back to us on this more. Back to you.
Okay, let's see where the story goes. Is the black box safe? Rohit Pawar has now also tried to file an FIR in Baramati. He tried to file an FIR in Mumbai. It did not happen. He's filing an FIR in Baramati. Now, he's been claiming that there's been a huge cover-up at place. So the story is just becoming more and more interesting. The story is not going to die down. Revati and Harsha, thank you for joining us with those inputs. Taking a break now on the live report, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back, getting you the breaking news updates. Anil Ambani story, he's at the Enforcement Directorate. The fraud and the money that he owes to the banks is much more than what Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksi, Nirav Modi all combined owe the banks. This is a very big story. We're taking a break, coming back with the breaking updates of that and more. Stay tuned.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला,
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला।
Now here's the reality, it's fact not fiction. You are sitting on a plane, you're boarding the plane and...
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of daybreak and a beautiful sunrise, you suddenly look to your right towards the wings and you see the flames of fire on the wings of the plane. Your plane is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, these are real visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality DGCA does not want you to see.
Top headlines coming in. Anil Ambani reaches ED office in New Delhi in connection to a probe in money laundering case. Republic accesses files which shows Anil Ambani owed money to Chinese lenders. Anil Ambani linked companies received funds from Chinese banks. Anil Ambani owes rupees 13,558 crore to the Chinese lenders. Republic accesses exclusive video of the face-off between Himachal and Delhi police. The Western Command of the Indian Army today conducts a military exercise in Pathankot. Troops who demolished Pak during Operation Sindoor take part. Coming in a presentation made by Air India to the Civil Aviation Secretary and the Minister on 9th of February, several safety observations were highlighted. In January alone, there were 34 reported incidents, including 23 technical issues such as engine stall warnings, fuel leaks, fire alerts and flight control problems. Multiple aircraft including A320, A321 and Boeing 787 reported repeated engine and fuel-related warnings. Some of these cases are still under review. Now, one Boeing 787 continued operating despite repeated auxiliary power unit fire warnings, which has raised questions now. The January month also saw multiple rejected takeoffs. One of the most critical phases of a flight, regulatory inspections noted missing oxygen bottles and unsecured emergency equipment in certain cases. Now, the presentation has triggered serious discussions at the highest levels of aviation oversight. Harsha, my colleague, is joining us live on the broadcast to give us more details and help us understand what exactly is happening. Harsha, major aviation lapse, and not just one but multiple that has now been recorded, and the presentation made by Air India to the Civil Aviation Secretary and the Minister, there were several safety observations which were highlighted. Help us with the details coming in.
So yes, the presentation gives us a light upon what's exactly wrong in Air India and how Air India is in complete mess, and it has made the aviation sector also feel unsafe and the passengers feel unsafe as well. And it's very shocking and disturbing. You see the details, 34 incidents reported in January alone, out of which 23 were technical issues. Major Boeing and Airbus fleet were grounded, and there were continuous warning of the engine stall warnings. There were the fuel leaks issue, there were the engine fire issue warnings, continuously in the Airbus and the Boeing 787 fleet. This is very disturbing that how aircraft and the fleet was operated by Air India after continuous engine warnings, and this is the highest level of oversight done by the Air India, which Minister himself in the meeting spoke about. He clearly stated that the reason passengers are not feeling safe, the reason the performance of Air India has fallen by 67% alone in the month of January is because of the continuous rejected takeoffs. Multiple times in January, the takeoffs were rejected because of the engine failure issue. And in Republic, we have continuously been stating that how Boeing has the severe fuel leak and engine issue, which should be monitored and investigated at a higher level. And that also experts also in Republic have stated that how there's an engine issue and the Boeing mechanical system should be reviewed and inspected and audited well. But till now, what we have seen after AI 171 crash, there has been a templated response from the side of Air India and Boeing that everything is fine in Boeing, everything is fine in the cockpit, everything is well, there's no mechanical, there's no technical error. But here, PPT, the PPT which is with Republic TV right now raises that there were red flags. The Boeing was operating without the auxiliary power unit and the fire warning, and it has raised several questions that how one Boeing was continuously operating till the time it didn't come into the notice of the regulators and the whistleblower didn't complain about it. Eight operations, 8 regular domestic via an international operation. Air India Boeing 787 particular flight did. It didn't had an airworthiness certificate also. These raises a lot of questions and alarming situation within Air India and for the passengers as well, that the flights are being cancelled. In November, there were 93 cancellations. In December, there were 627 cancellation. In the starting of the month, in January 2026, they have seen the falling of performance by 67%. This is the reality of Air India, and it's the high time that the high-level audit should be done of the Air India, all the aircrafts, including Airbus and including Boeing, because the templated response with Air India has been given to us on several technical issues which we raised, technical errors which was found in multiple aircraft, which Republic itself reported in January month. Now the reality is that the response was not templated. There were fire warnings, there were the engine stall issues, and this has now come out in the PPT what Air India was trying to hide and trying to brush under the carpet. But now the PPT is the reality that in the presentation they have accepted that there were technical errors, there were fuel warnings, there were engine stall warnings, there were the fire alarm signals in the cockpit of the Boeing and Airbus. Back to you.
Okay, Harsha, thank you for sharing all the details on that story that we are tracking very, very closely. With that, viewers, we shift our focus now. In a major crackdown in Bengaluru, police have detained 20 individuals suspected to be illegal Bangladeshi nationals. The operation was carried out in the eastern part of the city following specific intelligence inputs. Take a look. In a major operation, Bengaluru City Police raided suspected hideouts of illegal Bangladeshi nationals residing unlawfully in the city. The drive was conducted following directions from Bengaluru City Police Commissioner, with senior officers supervising the coordinated action across key zones. Based on specific information, simultaneous raids were carried out within the limits of Ramamurthy Nagar and Bagalore Police Station. In one such operation, the police detained around 20 suspected illegal immigrants near the Bellahali point after growing suspicious of their presence. During preliminary inquiry, the detained individuals reportedly admitted to being Bangladeshi nationals. The police officials said documents verification and detailed investigations are currently underway. Further legal action will be initiated based on the outcome of the probe as per police. Breaking news coming in at this point. An update is coming in from the ongoing row between Delhi Police and Himachal Police. Over 3 arrests have been made in the AI Summit protest case, and Delhi Police have arrived in the national capital with the 3 accused arrested from Himachal. Delhi Police has entered the Delhi's borders. This is the first. The 3 arrested accused will be brought to the crime branch office, and then the further action will be following. This is the update coming in. The Delhi Police had traveled to Himachal Pradesh to arrest those involved in the protests. There was an altercation between
मैं अभी अपनी फाइल लेके आता हूँ, मैं अपनी FIR दिखाता हूँ। एक मिनट सर, मीडिया के सामने करा, एक मिनट,
इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं। अब तो ट्रायल मीडिया करता है। एक पुलिस वाला बोल रहा है सर,
मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ। एक मिनट, मैंने FIR ट्रायल यहाँ सर, एक मिनट मुझे बोल लेते, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हैं अभी,
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ
एक पुलिस वाले को काम करने से रोक रहे हैं।
आपके ऊपर FIR दर्ज है, आप 3 बंदों को अगवा करके ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो ज्वाइन करिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन। आपको इतनी सी बात बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं तो हम करवाएंगे। आपको करना तो पड़ेगा, आपको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी, बस इतनी सी बात है।
ठीक है, अब मैं एक बात बोलूं, अब सुनिए, मेरी FIR है किस तारीख की? 20 तारीख की। 20 तारीख की FIR में अरेस्ट मैंने किया आज मॉर्निंग में, ठीक है, जिसमें कि ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं 9 लोग अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं, उनके ऑलरेडी पीसी रिमांड आ चुके हैं। आज मैं सुबह अरेस्ट करके ला रहा हूँ, सुबह से मुझे आपने कोर्ट में सर सुनिए तो कहाँ जा रहे हैं सर,
दो बंदे हैं
सर
वहाँ पे थे उस टाइम, फुटेज में है।
सर
हमने नहीं रोका हुआ,
उन्होंने रोका है सर,
हमारी गाड़ी अलग है
सर ये हमारी गाड़ी
उन्होंने रोका हुआ, हमने नहीं रोका हुआ
सर, ये हिमाचल पुलिस पूछिए ना सर,
हमने नहीं रोका हुआ, हमारी गाड़ी साइड में खड़ी है।
ये गाड़ी क्यों रुकी है?
आप ये रुकिए, आपके बीच में हैम्पर कर रहे हैं
सर
आप बीच में क्यों नहीं होंगे? लोकल पुलिस तो कर रहे हैं, आप बैठे।
हिमाचल प्रदेश जाना जाता है देश की सीमाओं को सुरक्षित करने के लिए और देश के अंदर भी नक्सलवाद से संघर्ष करने के लिए। हिमाचल के युवाओं का योगदान उस दिशा में था, लेकिन आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने को बचाने वालों में आ रहा है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर कपड़े खोलकर नंगा नाच, शेमलेस और शर्टलेस प्रदर्शन करने वाले कांग्रेसी कार्यकर्ता जिन्होंने देश को शर्मसार दुनिया भर के सामने किया, उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल सदन दिल्ली में मिली, हिमाचल सरकार के द्वारा मिली। उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल प्रदेश की राजधानी में मिली, हिमाचल की सरकार, हिमाचल की पुलिस के द्वारा मिली। ये दुर्भाग्य है कि आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने वालों के साथ जुड़ रहा है और कांग्रेस की सरकार उनकी मदद कर रही है।
लेकिन हिमाचल पुलिस ये किस तरीके से नाज़िर पेश कर रही है?
देखिए, कुछ भी हो, जिन लोगों ने अगर ये कुकृत्य इस तरह से किया कि देश को बदनाम किया, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर आप प्रदर्शन करिए, विरोध करिए, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, लेकिन किस मंच पे कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से कर रहे हैं? क्या ये 60 साल सत्ता में रहने वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी का यही चेहरा है कि भारत के बढ़ते कदमों का विरोध, भारत में आने वाले निवेश का विरोध, भारत के युवाओं को रोजगार का विरोध, भारत की बढ़ती लोकप्रियता का विरोध, हर तरफ नफरत की सोच मोदी जी के खिलाफ, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ, और अब भारत के खिलाफ नफरत की जो सोच राहुल गांधी जी और कांग्रेस पार्टी की है, ये दुर्भाग्य है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश की कांग्रेस सरकार इसका हिस्सा बनी।
प्रधानमंत्री जिस तरीके से इजराइल के दौरे पर गए, लेकिन असदुद्दीन ओवैसी और तमाम विपक्ष के नेता सवाल उठा रहे हैं। असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जिस तरीके से इजराइल पे दौरे पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं, और क्या कहेंगे आप?
इजराइल भारत का मित्र है और हमने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एक आवाज़ के रूप में बात की है और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के संबोधन में बहुत स्पष्ट है भारत इजराइल की मित्रता के बारे में भी और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जो जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी हमारी है वो उसको लेकर भी।
All right, my colleagues Saurabh and Shambhavi are joining us. Let me go across to Saurabh first. Saurabh, the Delhi police has arrived in the national capital with the 3 accused arrested from Himachal Pradesh, and we saw the entire altercation between Delhi police as well as the Himachal police, and a reaction also coming in from Anurag Thakur there. What are the latest updates that we are gathering in the story?
Yes, the Delhi police has brought all the three accused, including Saurabh, Arbaz and Siddharth, to the national capital, and they will be taken to the crime branch office as we speak. And after taking to the crime branch office, they will be taken to the Patiala House Court so that they can be produced in front of a judge, and the police will seek a maximum police remand of all the 3 accused to further interrogate them. Notably, all the 3 accused were involved in the Banyan protest done by the Youth Congress leaders at the AI India Impact Summit.
Let me go across to Shambhavi now at this point in time. Shambhavi, well, we have this latest updates coming in on this story with, the fact that the Delhi police have now arrested the 3 of those who have been involved in the protest in the AI Summit. 9 arrests have been already made in the past. Where is this investigation now headed to?
So definitely this is a big development when 3 more people have been arrested from Himachal Pradesh, and that too with a lot of problems. Now the problem itself, where the Congress youth workers embarrassed India, put India to shame on a global level by disrobing on an international platform at the India's AI Impact Summit. The problem continues. The problem continued when Delhi police tried to bring 3 accused from Himachal Pradesh, and they were stopped and hindrances were put on their way several times, not once, not twice, not thrice, but several times. That is when, and let us also tell our viewers the timeline which followed. That is when the Delhi police went to Himachal to arrest the 3 accused which were absconding. And it is so unfortunate that they found a home at the Himachal Southern. And when they arrested the 3 accused, they were, the Shimla police, the Himachal police, they were alerted and they started taking action. They stopped 3 vehicles of the Delhi police at 3 different stops. Not once, not twice, but thrice. 3 different vehicles at 3 different stops. And even then, they were then again taken to the court. They were produced before the court. The court granted them the liberty, the permission to take the accused. To be very clear, the court granted the Delhi police the permission to take the accused to Delhi. That is when again, when they were leaving, they were again stopped. For the 4th time, they were again stopped from taking the accused. The accused were then captured, they were taken custody of from the Delhi police, they were taken to the hospital. From the hospital, they were again produced at the judge's place late at night, and the judge again gave permission to the Delhi police to take the accused. So you can see that several times this is a huge row going on between Himachal police and Delhi police, where Delhi police is facing struggle getting the 3 accused in a matter so sensitive, in a matter that put India's name to shame on an international platform, in India's AI Impact Summit, where just to quickly remind our viewers, there were Congress youth workers who barged in the India's AI Impact Summit. They started disrobing, they started taking their clothes off, and they started sloganeering against the government, against the Prime Minister, and that is when they were captured, and these 3 absconded to Himachal. So now we know, as an update, that the Delhi police have brought these 3 accused. They have entered the borders of Delhi. They have been successfully brought from Himachal to Delhi. Back to you.
That's right. A big success there. Amidst the altercation that took place and the challenges that the Delhi police had failed. Now, for the fact of the investigation, as we know that there are multiple arrests that have already been made in this matter, what are the other updates that we're expecting to be taking place in the upcoming days?
So definitely they'll be produced before the court, because these 3 were not produced before the court here in Delhi. Now that the jurisdiction has been given to the Delhi police, they'll be produced before the court, and then further investigation will begin. This will again become a part of the broader investigation, which involves the incident that Republic has been showing again and again. For the 5 days, it went on smoothly. The India's AI Impact Summit, we got so many investors. There were tech minds, global tech minds investing in India, praising India for its AI, for its acceptance and enthusiasm in the game of AI. And then that is when this unfortunate incident happened, when the youth, Indian Congress youth workers, they entered, barged in the program and did something so shameful. And now that they are arrested, they've been taken accused of. Now this will be a part of the broader investigation. Back to studio.
All right, thank you for giving us the details there, Shambhavi and Saurabh. We now shift our focus, viewers, to more news and updates that we're tracking. Well, street vendors protested in Delhi's Chandni Chowk amid ongoing anti-encroachment drives by the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Now, during the demonstrations, slogans were raised claiming the government land belonged to them. Now, the protest follows a Delhi High Court order directing the MCD to survey encroachments around Jama Masjid, and after which the civic authorities began action in the area. Take a look at the details coming in. Street vendors staged a protest in Delhi's Chandni Chowk, taking to the streets against ongoing anti-encroachment drives. Demonstrators raised slogans as they marched through the area. During the protest, members of a particular community were heard raising slogans claiming that the government land belonged to them. Meanwhile, the protest comes after Delhi High Court directed the Municipal Corporation of Delhi to conduct a survey of encroachments in and around the Jama Masjid area. Following the order, the MCD has been carrying out operations in Jama Masjid and Chandni Chowk for the past several days. Those affected by the anti-encroachment drive are now opposing the action, stating that their livelihoods are at stake. Authorities, however, say the operations are being conducted in compliance with court orders. The situation remains tense but under control. Let's leave it at that, viewers, shifting our focus in what would be the first time as Indian Prime Minister ever addressed the Israeli Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised the shared bond between Israel and India during a Knesset plenum address on Wednesday, while outlining plans to strengthen relations by working together in innovation, in technology and in economic advancement. Well, in his powerful compilation, relive the top 5 standout moments from Prime Minister Modi's landmark address to Israel's parliament. From the thunderous Modi, Modi chants echoing through the hall to the Indian Prime Minister boldly calling out Hamas's barbaric October 7 terror attack, and the Prime Minister even firmly declaring nothing can justify terrorism. The address paved the way for strengthening India-Israel ties, just and durable regional and international peace. Let's tune in.
Namaste. For Prime Minister Modi, leadership is not merely the administration of a state, but the inspiration of a nation, a huge nation.
For every life lost and for every family whose world was shattered in the barbaric terrorist attack by Hamas on October 7. We feel your pain. We share your grief. India stands with Israel firmly, with full conviction in this moment and beyond. No cause can justify the murder of civilians. Nothing can justify terrorism. India has also endured the pain of terrorism for a long time. We remember the 26/11 Mumbai attacks and the innocent lives lost, including Israeli citizens. Like you, we have consistent and uncompromising policy of zero tolerance for terrorism with no double standards. Terrorism aims to destabilize societies, to block development, and to erode trust. Countering terrorism requires sustained and coordinated global action, because terror anywhere threatens peace everywhere. That is why India supports all efforts that contribute to durable peace and regional stability. The path is even more challenging. Yet, it is important to sustain that hope. The Gaza Peace Initiative that was endorsed by the UN Security Council offers a pathway. India has expressed its firm support for the initiative. We believe that it holds the promise of a just and durable peace for all the people of the region, including by addressing the Palestine issue. Let all our efforts be guided by wisdom, courage, and humanity. The road to peace is not always easy, but India joins you and the world for dialogue, peace, and stability in this region.
Breaking news coming in at a press conference by the Indian Army Western Army Commander Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katiyar warned Pakistan of ground invasion. This warning was given cautioning Pakistan against taking a war. That's the latest coming in, and another warning to Pakistan by the Indian Armed Forces, and this time from Western Army Commander Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katiyar, who spoke and warned Pakistan of ground invasion.
सिंदूर में जैसा आपने देखा कि हमने 7 तारीख को उनके सभी टेररिस्ट बेसिस पर हमला किया था। उसके बाद उन्होंने कुछ जवाबी कार्रवाई की और उसके जवाब में जो हमने उनके मिलिट्री बेसिस, एयर बेसिस को जिस तरह से बर्बाद किया, उसके बाद उसने फिर सीज़ फायर की मांग की। और सीज़ फायर की मांग सिर्फ डायरेक्टली हमसे नहीं की, हमको लगता है कि और भी देशों के पास उसने अपना ये मैसेज भेजा कि हमें इंडिया से सीज़ फायर करवा दो। तो ये था, हमारा मानना है कि वो हमसे लड़ाई लड़ने की क्षमता उसके पास नहीं है। जहाँ भी उसको हम चोट पहुँचाएंगे तो वो कोशिश करेगा कि हम इंडिया के साथ किसी तरीके से सीज़ फायर हासिल कर लें। सवाल था पाकिस्तान को घुसकर मारने का, वो तो ऑप सिंदूर में भी हमने किया। उसके कई इलाकों को जो कि उसके हार्टलैंड पंजाब में हैं, हमने वहाँ पर एक तरीके से उनके बेसिस को बर्बाद किया। और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर 2 में हम उसको किस तरह से आगे ले जाएंगे, ये एक ऑपरेशनल प्लान है और आप ये मान के चलिए कि इसके लिए हमारी तैयारी जारी है। और जैसा मैंने कहा कि ड्रोन्स हमारी इस तैयारी का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा हैं, क्योंकि ड्रोन्स हर ऑपरेशन में ड्रोन्स का इस्तेमाल आज की तारीख में हो रहा है, तो हम भी ड्रोन्स में बहुत महारत हासिल कर रहे हैं।
And viewers, that was a very stern warning from the Indian Armed Forces to Pakistan for ground invasion, and more have been said by the Western commander at this point in time. But it's time we shift into a short commercial break. More news and updates on the other side. Anil Ambani at the ED office for questioning in money laundering matter. Assets attached worth rupees 3,716 crore.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Now here's the reality, it's fact not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of day.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
Now here's the reality, it's fact not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of daybreak and a beautiful sunrise, you suddenly look to your right towards the wings and you see the flames of fire on the wings of the plane. Your plane is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, these are real visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality DGCA does not want you to see. Because at the cockpit, at that very moment while you're sitting in the plane, there are calls of Mayday, 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 Mayday. That is a flight emergency. The flight circle.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Anil Ambani reaches ED office in New Delhi in connection to probe in money laundering case. And also Republic accesses files which shows Anil Ambani owed money to Chinese lenders. Anil Ambani linked companies received funds from Chinese banks. Anil owes rupees 13,558 crores to Chinese lenders. And also Republic accesses exclusive video of the face-off between Himachal and Delhi police. The Western Command of Indian Army today conducted a military exercise in Pathankot. Troops who demolished Pakistan during Op Sindoor took part. The message was clear: we can enter Pakistan. All right, viewers, it's a big breaking news coming in right now at this moment, and it's a Republic super exclusive.
कभी कभी मुझे लगता है कि वी हैव गिवन अ लॉन्ग रोप टू द कांग्रेस पार्टी, और कांग्रेस पार्टी के असलियत को, कांग्रेस पार्टी के परिवार के असलियत को, परिवार ही कांग्रेस है, इसलिए नेहरू, इंदिरा, सोनिया गांधी, राजीव गांधी, राहुल गांधी, प्रियंका वाड्रा, इनके असलियत को जनता के समक्ष संपूर्ण रूप से बार बार रखना पड़ेगा, ताकि इनकी डायनास्टी कितनी कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है, इनकी हालत कितनी कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है और इनके कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस के कारण भारतवर्ष को क्या सहना पड़ा है, क्या हानि हुई है, what losses has India taken upon itself because of the compromises of the dynasty of the Gandhi family is something which we have to remind the Gen Z and the others in the country again and again. आज इसी कड़ी में कुछ विषय मैं आपके समक्ष रखूंगा, मगर सर्वप्रथम मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि जो वर्ल्ड एआई समिट हुई थी, आज हमने देखा कि उसके पीछे एक बहुत सोचा समझा प्लान्ड अरेंजमेंट था। सोशल मीडिया में भी हमने देखा कि रील्स चल रही है और लोगों ने बकायदा ट्वीट करके रील्स के माध्यम से यह बताया है कि उन्हें कांग्रेस कार्यालय से और कांग्रेस के बड़े लोगों का मैसेज आया था कि यदि आप वर्ल्ड एआई समिट के खिलाफ ट्वीट करेंगे या कोई रील बनाएंगे तो आपको 25,000 रुपए, 50,000 रुपए, 1.5 लाख तक आपको पैसा दिया जाएगा। अनेकों ऐसे उदाहरण हम सोशल मीडिया में देख रहे हैं और ये ऑथेंटिक है क्योंकि बकायदा मैसेजेस डालकर दिखाए गए हैं। मैं भी मीडिया में देख रहा था, कई चैनल्स इसे चला रहे हैं। तो ये जो राहुल गांधी का पूरा एक प्रिपेयर्डनेस था भारतवर्ष को नीचा दिखाने में, और जो स्लोगन वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड का यूज कर रहे हैं, आज हम बताना चाहते हैं कि वास्तविक रूप में कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड कौन है। इस सिलसिले में, पूरे इस कड़ी में सर्वप्रथम नेहरू जी का नाम आता है। हाउ नेहरू वॉज कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड एंड हाउ द कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस ऑफ नेहरू कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड आवर कंट्री, आज इस विषय में कहूंगा मैं। चचा नेहरू बोला जाता था उनको, चचा नेहरू, ही वॉज कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड नेहरू। चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड, वो चचा नेहरू नहीं थे, वो चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड थे। मुझे लगता है आज से उनको चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड के नाम से ही बोलना चाहिए। जब चचा ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड होगा तो क्या देश का हाल होगा, आप सोचिए जरा। अब ये चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज की पूरी कच्ची चिट्ठी है, बहुत बड़ी चिट्ठी है, कच्ची चिट्ठी। मैं प्रयास करता हूं कि एक एक करके इस विषय को रखूंगा और आप सब भी देखेंगे। और ये चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड की जो गलतियां थी, ये कोई नीतिगत गलतियां अनइंटेंशनली उनसे हो गई थी, ऐसा नहीं है। ये गलतियां सोच समझ करके, जानबूझ करके किया गया था ताकि देश कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड हो। मैं पहला आरोप जो मीडिया के समक्ष और मीडिया के माध्यम से देश के समक्ष रखना चाहता हूं चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड के बारे में, वह है कि चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड के सचिवालय में, नेहरू के सचिवालय में सीआईए का इतना पैठ था कि उनके जो विशेष सहायक या विशेष सचिव थे, जिनका नाम M.O. मथाई था, M.O. मथाई को अमेरिकी एजेंट के नाम से बुलाया जाता था। और 60 के दशक में, 1960 के दशक में केजीबी, जो रशिया की एजेंसी है, केजीबी के एजेंसीज के एजेंट भी चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड के ऑफिस में मौजूद थे। तो चाहे वो M.O. मथाई हो, चाहे केजीबी के एजेंट्स हो, सीआईए और केजीबी का दबदबा चचा नेहरू के ऑफिस पे था। और इन द 60s and 70s it used to be said, in fact it used to be said about Nehru's regime that any document that the foreign dispensation needed was readily available for US and for Russia. That was the situation, grim situation I would say, and that was the compromise that Nehru did with the security of this country. सवाल है कि राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा इतनी खोखली क्यों बनाई गई कि गुप्त दस्तावेज देश के विदेशी हाथों में सौंप दिया जाता था। दूसरा विषय है क्षेत्रीय समर्पण का। ये जो चाचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज थे, चचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज ने भारत के नक्शे के ऊपर जब मन किया, मानो अपने स्केच पेन से ही उन्होंने आंक दिया कि ये पोर्शन पाकिस्तान को दे देंगे, ये पोर्शन चीन को दे देंगे. He used a sketch pen to in fact cut off parts of India, dismember India and hand it over to foreign dispensations like Pakistan and China. तिब्बत और अक्सई चीन की कहानी तो आप जानते ही हैं. 1954 में पंचशील समझौता होता है और पंचशील समझौते के जरिए नेहरू ने तिब्बत को चीन को गिफ्ट में दिया. आप सोच के देखिए, पंचशील के समझौते में चाचा नेहरू ने इतना कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया. चाचा कॉम्प्रोमाइज ने इस प्रकार काम किया देश के अहित में कि उन्होंने तिब्बत को चाइना को गिफ्ट में दे दिया. और 1951 से चीन अक्षय चीन में, इसको आज हम अक्षय चीन कहते हैं, वहां सड़क बना रही थी. यह नेहरू जी को भी मालूम था कि वहां सड़क बन रहा है. और जो उस समय के तत्कालीन आईबी के इंटेलिजेंस ब्यूरो के प्रमुख थे बीएन मुलिक ने बड़े स्पष्टता के साथ नेहरू जी और नेहरू के कैबिनेट को सचेतित किया था, उन्हें बताया था कि चीन अक्षय चीन में रास्ता बना रही है और इसका कहीं ना कहीं संज्ञान में भारतवर्ष को इसको लेना चाहिए. मगर आपको जान के आश्चर्य होगा कि 1951 में यह सब कुछ बताया गया, मगर 1959 तक नेहरू जी ने इस विषय को छुपा के रखा और यहां तक छुपा के रखा कि पार्लियामेंट में भी उन्होंने कहा कि यह सब बातें अफवाहें हैं. चाइना इज नॉट प्रोग्रेसिंग टुवर्ड्स इट. चाइना ये नहीं कर रही है. चाइना को बचाने की जो कोशिश थी वह नेहरू जी कर रहे थे. 1962 आप जानते ही हैं उस समय कितना बड़ा रणनीतिक फेल्योर हुआ था. 1962 में बिना सैन्य परामर्श के, बिना किसी रसद के और फॉरवर्ड पॉलिसी को मानते हुए जिस प्रकार से हमारे आर्मी को बिना यूनिफॉर्म, बिना जूते, कैनवस शूज पहना करके बॉर्डर में धकेला गया, और वह भी बड़े आश्चर्य के साथ मुझे कहना पड़ रहा है, ये जो आत्मघाती निर्णय था उसको हेड नेहरू जी के ही रिश्तेदार कर रहे थे. जो हायरार्कियल लाइन होती है आर्मी की, उसको तोड़ करके, जिस प्रकार से चेन ऑफ कमांड को दरकिनार करके, अनुभवी योद्धाओं को छोड़ करके जनरल बी.एम. कौल को कमान सौंपा गया, जो उनके खुद के रिश्तेदार थे. और उसके बाद 1962 में क्या हुआ, क्या हश्र हुआ, उसका परिणाम क्या हुआ, यह भी हम जानते हैं. फॉरवर्ड पॉलिसी की नीति के कारण बेरूबारी और पाकिस्तान, बंगाल का जो क्षेत्र जिसको बेरूबारी कहते हैं, नेहरू ने पश्चिम बंगाल के सरकार को बिना इन्फॉर्म किए, उनके साथ कोई भी कैबिनेट में कंसल्टेशन नहीं हुआ, पश्चिम बंगाल के सरकार को अंधेरे में रखते हुए बेरूबारी का हिस्से को पाकिस्तान को एक तरह से नेहरू नून समझौता जिसे कहते हैं, नेहरू नून समझौते में बेरूबारी को पाकिस्तान को दे दिया. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसका संज्ञान लिया. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा यह आप नहीं कर सकते हैं, आप कंसल्ट करिए पहले स्टेट के साथ, और इस प्रकार देश के हिस्से को आप चीन के हाथों सौंप नहीं सकते हैं. मगर डिस्पाइट सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स वर्डिक्ट, 9th संशोधन, जो 9वां संशोधन था, अमेंडमेंट था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में, उसके मार्ग से नेहरू ने बेरूबारी को पाकिस्तान को देने का काम किया. सोचिए, देश को खंडित करने का काम और एक एक हिस्से को पाकिस्तान और चीन को देने का काम नेहरू ने किया. सवर्ण सिंह और भुट्टो वार्ता कॉम्प्रोमाइज, यह भी आप जानते हैं. 1962 62 और 64 के बीच सवर्ण सिंह और भुट्टो की वार्ता होती है, जिस वार्ता के माध्यम से नेहरू ने पूंछ, उरी और गुरेज जैसी रणनैतिक घाटियां, ये रणनैतिक स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशंस हैं, इनका स्ट्रेटेजिक इंपॉर्टेंस है. पूंछ, उरी और गुरेज की घाटियों को पाकिस्तान को सौंपने के लिए वो तैयार हो गए. आप सोचिए, ये थे नेहरू और नेहरू के कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस. ग्वादर पोर्ट 1958 में ओमान के जो सुल्तान थे उन्होंने ग्वादर पोर्ट को भारत को देने का पेशकश किया। ओमान के सुल्तान ने कहा अगर भारत चाहे तो ग्वादर पोर्ट हम भारत को देना चाहते हैं। नेहरू ने उसे ठुकरा दिया कि हम ग्वादर पोर्ट नहीं लेंगे। आज आप चिंता करिए ग्वादर पोर्ट कितनी स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशन बनी हुई है चीन और पाकिस्तान के लिए। नेहरू जी का वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज था, भुगत भारत आज रहा है। अ कॉम्प्रोमाइज बाय नेहरू इन 1958 causes pain for India even today. मुझे सवाल नहीं, मतलब एक सवाल है जिसका उत्तर समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि आखिर भारत की जमीन उसको विदेश के साथ जो गिफ्ट में देने की ये जो बातें करते थे नेहरू, ये आखिर क्यों करते थे, किस प्रेशर में करते थे और ऐसे क्यों किया गया? क्या इसके पीछे उन्हें कुछ बड़ा गिफ्ट मिलता था? क्या चीन और पाकिस्तान ने नेहरू को रिश्वत दी थी? वॉज नेहरू ब्राइब्ड बाय चीन एंड पाकिस्तान, बाय चाइना एंड पाकिस्तान? एंड दैट वॉज द रीजन एज टू वाई नेहरू गिफ्टेड लैंड्स ऑफ इंडिया टू बोथ दीज नेशंस इज समथिंग दैट वी शुड बी आस्किंग द प्रेजेंट डिस्पेंसेशन ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी। आप सभी जानते हैं यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल यूएनएससी, आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की भरसक प्रयास है कि उसमें हम स्थायी सदस्य परमानेंट मेंबर कैसे बने। एक समय था 1950 में अमेरिका ने और 1955 में 50 में अमेरिका ने और 55 में सोवियत संघ ने, यूएसएसआर ने यह प्रपोज किया था कि यूएनएससी में भारत को परमानेंट मेंबर बनाया जाए। मगर नेहरू जी ने अपनी बहन विजया लक्ष्मी जी को चिट्ठी लिखा और कहा कि इससे चीन नाराज हो जाएगा एंड वी शुड डिक्लाइन द ऑफर ऑफ बिकमिंग अ परमानेंट मेंबर ऑफ द यूएनएससी। नेहरू जी ने अमेरिका और रूस के उस प्रस्ताव को ठुकरा दिया कि भारत को यूएनएससी का परमानेंट मेंबर बनना चाहिए, क्योंकि उनका प्यारा मित्र चाइना, जहां ये मां बेटी भी गए थे,
All right, viewers, these are the live visuals coming in from Israel. This is the second day of PM Modi's visit to Israel, and this is a visit to Yad Vashem. This is Israel's official Holocaust memorial, which was established in 1953 to honor the 6 million Jews who were killed by the Nazis. Now, later, bilateral talks will be held with Israeli President Isaac Herzog, and late in the afternoon, PM Modi and Benjamin Netanyahu will meet for a delegation-level discussion at around 2:40 to 3 p.m., followed by exchange of MOUs and joint press statements. Now, these are the live visuals coming in from Israel on your television screen. PM visits the Holocaust Memorial and pays tribute to the victims. Now, these are the victims of the Holocaust. And this memorial was established in 1953, and this memorial is to honor the 6 million Jews, the 6 million Jews who were killed, brutally murdered by the Nazi regime, by the Hitler regime, and the memorial is to honor those who died during the Holocaust. It's a memorial of the Holocaust, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is paying a visit, is paying a tribute to all those who died in the Holocaust, the Jews who died in the Holocaust in the Nazi Germany. This was established in 1953. Bilateral talks will take place, will happen today in Israel between India and Israel, between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Benjamin Netanyahu will take part. It will be a meeting, it will be a delegation-level discussions which will happen after that, followed by exchange of MOUs, joint press statements, and then around 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., PM Modi is scheduled to interact with the Indian diaspora in Israel, and then later, around evening time, he will depart for New Delhi. Now, defense, security cooperation are expected to feature prominently in the discussions, but this is the visit to the Holocaust Memorial, where Prime Minister pays tribute to the victims of the Holocaust. Live visuals coming in from Israel. On your television screens, ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the Holocaust Memorial in Israel. This is Israel's official Holocaust Memorial, which was established in 1953 to honor the 6 million Jews killed by the Nazis. All right, we are being joined by Ratna Chakravarti, joining us live from Tel Aviv. Ratna, if you can describe the visuals on a television screen, PM is visiting the Holocaust Memorial. What next, Ratna?
You're right. Yad Vashem is Israel's official memorial, and it's dedicated to the victims of the Holocaust. And it was established in 1953, located in Jerusalem on Mount Herzl. It's a very strategic and important place for Israel. And over 6 million Jews were murdered during the Holocaust. And this place serves as a place for remembrance, education, and this testament to the resilience of the Jewish people. So it's a very symbolic visit by the Prime Minister when the leader of the world's largest democracy visits the Yad Vashem. He shows and describes the shared values of democracy and tolerance between India and Israel. So this is a very important visit, and it strengthens this moral and historical ties between the two nations. And yesterday, if you have seen in the Prime Minister's conversation in the Knesset, and also Prime Minister Netanyahu highlighted this, that India was one of the only countries in the world where the Jews never faced persecution. But in Europe, 6 million Jews were killed, and this is a very symbolic visit.
Definitely, Ratna, this shows the emotional touch between the relation that India and Israel has, that the relationship that PM Modi has with Benjamin Netanyahu. Yesterday, PM Benjamin Netanyahu clearly mentioned that PM Modi is more than a friend. He is a brother. He's a brother to him, Ratna.
Yeah, that's true. And we have seen throughout this entire visit, this brotherhood, or as he said he's a friend, and then he says, I might even go to the extent of calling him a brother, because that's the relationship between the two leaders, the chemistry between the two leaders that drives this relation forward. If you've seen in the dinner that the Prime Minister of Israel hosted for Prime Minister Modi, he wore even an Indian dress to celebrate the special relationship that the two leaders share.
Definitely, Ratna. These are the live visuals that are coming from the Holocaust Memorial, which is in Jerusalem, in Israel. Live pictures coming from that location. What's next in the agenda? When will the bilateral be happening, and what are the agenda of the bilateral talks that will be taking place, Ratna?
So there is first a meeting with the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog, where the president has even put out a video showing that he has laid the red carpet for the Prime Minister's visit. They will have a bilateral talk. And after the conversation with the president, there will be a discussion, a bilateral agreement being signed, the MOUs being signed, and a press talk at the King David Hotel. It was scheduled to be around 11:30, but as you see, that it's a little delayed. But it will be in this afternoon. And after that, there is the diaspora meeting with the prominent members of the Indian Jewish community who are based out of Israel. So that's basically on the agenda today.
Definitely, Ratna. And if you can describe more on the visuals that we are showing right now, the visit to the Holocaust Memorial, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is paying a visit, and he is with Benjamin Netanyahu right now. And clearly the statement that was made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Knesset, in the Israeli parliament, that the Jewish community flourished in India and they have lived fearlessly only in India. Ratna.
That's true. The Jewish community has never faced persecution, because whenever you talk to any other people who have migrated from Europe, you hear the stories that why they had to leave Europe. It was because of the persecution, because of the Holocaust. But whereas the Indian Jewish community, the Prime Minister met yesterday a lot of the Jewish community members as soon as he arrived and at the King David Hotel, and they were very excited to meet the Prime Minister because they had very positive experience growing up in India. They never faced persecution. They were culturally very rooted in Indian traditions as well. A lot of the members of the Indian Jewish community still celebrate Indian festivals here. So that's why the Jewish community in India has a very special bond with India. And that's something which Prime Minister Netanyahu even acknowledged yesterday.
Definitely, and the kind of welcome that was received by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that was also on a very personal level. He was one of the first to address the Israeli parliament, that is the Knesset, and now he is visiting a memorial that is close to the hearts of millions and millions of Jews, and it's dedicated to those who lost their lives in the Holocaust in Germany by the Nazi regime, Ratna.
That's true. There are two important things. One, in the speech yesterday, the Prime Minister addressed that, especially after October 7, that he stands with the Israeli people, and he stands firmly with the fact that what Israelis went through, Indians have went through as well, when they suffered terrorism, what we have seen on our home as well, where we suffered terrorism from Pakistani terror groups. He highlighted the same thing that Israel has went through as well when October 7 happened. And today he goes and pays a visit to the other section of the Jewish community who have lost their lives before the October 7th, the another deadly attack, which was the Holocaust. So there is a symbol in both of them, because he first paid tributes to the October 7 victims yesterday in the speech, and today he's going and paying tributes to people who have lost their lives in the Holocaust.
Definitely, and the visit also holds a symbolic significance, Ratna, when it comes to the Prime Minister's visit. And it's not just about the defense deals that will happen, and not just about the MOUs that will be signed and the technology transfer that will happen in various fields, but it's also the personal connect, the people-to-people connect that we can see right now on the television screen.
That's true, and that's something which the Prime Minister even highlighted yesterday, that a lot of Israelis young Israelis travel to India after they have finished their mandatory army services. The popularity of yoga that the Prime Minister highlighted, he said that when he first came to visit Israel, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, there were only a handful of yoga studios. But now there are yoga studios in every nook and corner in every neighborhood of Israel, which is also something, shows the people-to-people connect actually between the two countries. And most Israelis here who have experienced the Indian caregivers who are very popular, and the courage they've displayed throughout the entire war, it's very significant, and that also something which he highlighted yesterday in the speech.
And Ratna, in geopolitics, it's very important to have friends who support you in tough times.
Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, the Honorable Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of the State of Israel, Mr. Dani Dayan, Chairman of Directorate, ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here in the Hall of Remembrance at Yad Vashem on the Mount of Remembrance in Jerusalem to commemorate the 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators. The Encore Choir, directed by Anil Ambani, will open the ceremony with the song Walk to Caesarea, written by the young poet and parachutist Anil, who was killed behind enemy lines in Hungary in 1944. I am honored to invite His Excellency, Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, to rekindle the eternal flame in the Hall of Remembrance. As we rekindle the eternal light in this hall of remembrance, before the sacred remains of our martyrs, we unite with the blessed memory of 6 million of our people who died in martyr's death at the hands of the German Nazis and their collaborators, of the Jewish communities destroyed in a wicked attempt to eradicate the name and culture of Israel. We remember with veneration the fortitude of the fighters who kindled the sublime flame of rebellion among the besieged masses of the ghettos. The heroic and persistent struggle of the masses of the House of Israel on the threshold of destruction for their human dignity and their Jewish heritage. The righteous among the nations who risked their lives to save Jews from persecution and death. I am honored to invite the Prime Minister of the Republic of India to lay the wreath on the slab under which the ashes of Holocaust victims from the extermination camps are buried, and to place a stone according to Jewish memorial tradition. Cantor Amir Gopal will now recite Eri Malaya Amin, a prayer for the souls of the martyrs.
And viewers, those were the visuals coming in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting the Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem. And of course, after this, Prime Minister to be meeting with the Indian diaspora and also, of course, holding the key talks that are slated to happen. And we are tracking all the minute-to-minute updates. Prime Minister paid tribute to the victims. He is at the Yad Vashem with Benjamin Netanyahu, as you can see from the visuals. The Holocaust Memorial, known as a Mount of Remembrance, a memorial that restores identity to millions of Jews who were murdered. And the Prime Minister has paid tribute to the victims at Jerusalem. And these are the live visuals coming in from Jerusalem on Prime Minister's key visit to Israel and today to the Holocaust. I've been joined by 2 of our colleagues, Chilean Stark from Jerusalem and Ratha Chakraborty from Tel Aviv. Well, let me go to Chilean. Chilean, at this point in time, the significance of the Holocaust and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying his tribute to the victims.
Well, this is extremely important here in Israel. First of all, the Yad Vashem stands as a memorial to some of the trauma that Jews have gone through in the past. And so to have a visiting dignitary and a head of state come to visit that, and not only to visit, but to lay a wreath as he did and to, really take part in this, really shows the sincere respect that he shows towards Israel and towards the Jews and towards their history, which for us is a very important thing right now, especially after October 7th. But another large part of it is it's a very well-known fact here in Israel that the Jewish community of India is one of the only in the entire world that has never faced anti-Semitism. And so to see this really strengthens that feeling of connection and brotherhood with India and between our two peoples. So seeing this and this visit in itself is just a wonderful signal to the world just how deep these ties goes beyond the political, excitement that we've seen yesterday and the arrival of his visit, but a truly person-to-person bond between our nations and between our peoples as well.
That's right.
Coming in from Jerusalem, Prime Minister there at the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial Museum. And if you visit there, the haunting memories of the Holocaust, you sort of relive them, you sort of, immerse yourself in those moments that those 6 million souls at various places across Europe had gone through during the Holocaust period. And the museum is built in a manner that you can get a glimpse of the huge tragedy that the Jewish community faced through ages. The Book of Names, for example, that was just on air, is what contains the names of all those who perished in that Holocaust. I believe there is some, can we go to the net sounds first? There is some presentation being made to the Prime Minister. Okay, we have Jillian Starr with us live from Jerusalem. Jillian, while the rest of the visit is about geopolitics and geostrategy and geoeconomics and whatnot, this part of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Israel is about immersing in what constitutes Israeli nation. Your thoughts on what we are getting these pictures of?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I believe that though there's, much joy and happiness here in Israel, there's also the traumatic past that we share as Jews, no matter where in the world that we come from. Almost all Jews have a history of some sort of discrimination, of trauma, and of horror in their past. And so Yad Vashem really serves to concentrate this in order for it not to overcome the rest of society, I'd say, and to take time out of the wonderful, fun, and exciting things that there are to do on a head of state visit into a country, especially one where it seems that the two heads of state meeting have such a great relationship with one another. But to take time to acknowledge the past and acknowledge the hardships is really something that plays in a lot with Jewish culture as well. Even at the high point of a Jewish wedding, you take a moment to say, we're so happy right now, but we remember what's happened to us in the past. We remember for us the destruction of the Second Temple. And so really to have this stop within his journey here and this meeting in Jerusalem is part of kind of a Jewish tale as old as time.
Before I go to Ratnakar, one quick question. We saw in the pictures Prime Minister going around the fire and then paying his respects. Is that also a part of some tradition that you go around the fire and pay your respects at this place and otherwise?
Something that we do quite often. One of the largest traditions that you can see to pay respects to the dead around the world is if you ever visit a Jewish cemetery, often rather than flowers, people place stones on top of graves. That's in order to have a more lasting memory of the person. So memory and remembrance is extremely important in Jewish culture. And so in order to keep this alive, yes, we do have certain ceremonies or things at Yad Vashem, but there is no religious significance to circling the fire and there. But as you saw, they tried to bring together a lot of different aspects of Jewish culture and Jewish mourning as well into this presentation and this ceremony that they've held today.
Yeah. On that note, let me take this to Ratnakar, who's joining us live again from Jerusalem. Ratnakar, the whole action after Yad Vashem shifts to the delegation level talks and the agreements and MOUs that are going to be signed between the two sides. It's been a day since Prime Minister has been in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. What are you hearing about the possibilities, the likelihood of what's going to come out of those talks and translate into concrete understandings as also agreements between India and Israel?
Well, so we are supposed to have a MOU and a press statement after the Prime Minister has a bilateral talk with the President. And the President has already put out a video with a red carpet saying that he's welcoming the Indian Prime Minister. And after that, we will have the MOUs being signed. As the Prime Minister yesterday in his speech has given a hint what it might entail, he has spoken about the FTA, but whether we get the full FTA, we will only get to know in the due course. But the FTA is definitely on the cards. The other things that he has also visited yesterday, the Innovation Center, and there are, of course, plans to upgrade the security agreements that we have with Israel and pave the way for the next generation of security agreements that we're going to have with Israel, including advanced agreements in areas of AI, critical technologies, and industrial collaborations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all focus is going to be on what goes on in those talks, how the chemistry that's there between the two leaders, a glimpse of which we have seen since yesterday, right from the time that Prime Minister Modi arrived at the David Ben Gurion Airport. And Ratnakar, you were there reporting from that venue to the time the leaders met right there at the airport for a one-on-one meeting, hitting the ground running. In fact, if you look at the last 24 hours, Prime Minister Netanyahu has effectively been by the side of Prime Minister Modi in all the places, at all the events, and that really gives you an idea of the kind of personal touch that's being extended to this state visit by Prime Minister Modi. Second time as Prime Minister, the only Indian Prime Minister to have visited Israel, the first Indian Prime Minister to have landed in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv since the formation of the state, and having taken the relationship out of the bunkers that it was in and bringing it out in the open, at the same time balancing with the rest of the West Asia in a manner that he becomes the only leader in the world to have been accorded the highest civilian honor by Palestine. At the same time, the Israeli Knesset, as we saw yesterday, giving him their highest honor of the parliament. So in that sense, I think a tremendous amount of diplomacy there on display in terms of India's heft in the region and Prime Minister Modi's personal push to make sure that we remain relevant on all sides and not just one. So not picking sides, but pushing India's self-interest in the geography in whichever manner we can. So I think as of now, the Prime Minister is at Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial, which is almost like a must-do when you're visiting Jerusalem. And so the Prime Minister doing it second time. In fact, in 2017, when he had visited Israel, he had also visited Yad Vashem and doing it again. And Prime Minister Netanyahu accompanying PM Modi and taking him around.
That's true. And one of the things in Yad Vashem that we often do not talk about is that there is also a section which has an extensive repository and it honors non-Jews who have also risked their lives to save Jews. And in that regard, if you remember, the Prime Minister in his speech also spoke about the Maharaja of Jamnagar, who has saved over 1,000 Polish children. And there has been a memorial / statue built on him in Nevatim. in Israel. So that is also something which has been very recent. It was unveiled a couple of months back. So this is something which also the Prime Minister holds very dear to his heart, because he's also from Gujarat, and the Maharaj of Jamnagar being honored in Israel for saving over 1,000 Polish children, defying the British that time, also means a lot for the Prime Minister when he's visiting Yad Vashem.
That's right. Requesting both of you to stay on with us. We are cutting into a short commercial break, but we will come right back with all the developments coming in from Israel.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of daybreak and a beautiful sunrise, you suddenly look to your right towards the wings and you see the flames of fire on the wings of the plane. Your plane is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, these are real visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of daybreak and a beautiful sunrise, you suddenly look to your right towards the wings and you see the flames of fire on the wings of the plane. Your plane is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, these are real visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality DGCA does not want you to see. Because at the cockpit, at that very moment while you're sitting in the plane, there are calls of Mayday, 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 Mayday. That is a flight emergency. The flight circles back. There's engine failure in one of the engines, lands at 6:49 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, and as you get off the plane, you realize this is the same SpiceJet. This is the same SpiceJet that does not have the money to pay the Bangladesh government, which is why it had been, I don't know the present situation, not allowed to fly in Bangladeshi airspace. They're out of money. Who is the owner of SpiceJet? This is the same SpiceJet, ladies and gentlemen, when another SpiceJet took off from Patna to Delhi on 19 June 2022. It caught fire soon after taking off from the airport. Flames were seen on the left wing of the aircraft. 2 blades were bent. So you should see the visuals then and now, ladies and
Breaking news coming in, and it's a Republic super exclusive. Why Anil Ambani cannot evade responsibility. Documents with Republic show Anil Ambani giving personal guarantees. The probe reveals SBI loan to Arcom and RITL was given on the basis of personal guarantee and goodwill. The personal guarantee by Anil Ambani was in fact executed through a deed in 2016. Anil Ambani was personally liable for repayment of the entire loan amount. That's the breaking news coming in. Anil Ambani's lavish home abode in Mumbai has been attached as per the recent recoveries and attachments made by the Enforcement Directorate. Anil Ambani, meanwhile, being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. Anil Ambani is under the ED scanner. He, in fact, had been given the loans on the basis of personal guarantee and goodwill. This is a Republic super exclusive coming in, viewers. The personal guarantee by Anil Ambani was executed through a deed back in 2016. In fact, he was personally liable for the repayment of the entire loan amount. The loan was on basis of personal guarantee and goodwill. That's the latest update that we are gathering on Republic. In exclusive updates coming in, Anil Ambani personally liable for repayment. And this came in, or rather being executed, through a deed back in 2016. The crackdown on Anil Ambani is increasing. Shavan Sen joins me from newsroom. Shavan, take us through all the updates coming in and all the details that we have accessed or a super exclusive on Republic.
Well, in fact, let me first take you through the background of this particular case before I come to the big news point basically emerging from the documents that have been accessed by Republic TV. One, the charge that has been leveled against Anil Ambani and companies linked to Anil Ambani is that they have sought loan from a consortium of banks. Once this loan was actually received by these companies, they were basically diverted to third-party companies and eventually it was siphoned off. Effectively, those loans became NPA. Now, it turns out that these companies, despite weak financials, they were essentially given money loan from the banks purely because of certain guarantees that were given. All this while, Anil Ambani has essentially maintained that these were decisions that were taken by the board, and the very fact that the board wasn't being dictated by Anil Ambani himself. Now, if that is the case, then this particular document that you see right now, that I'm going to show you, this document is a deed that was basically executed by Anil Ambani. If I can just zoom in a little bit more, there is a clear mention of the fact that Anil Ambani is as the guarantor in favor of State Bank of India. And take a look here, Anil Ambani himself has signed, it was attested on 23rd of September 2016, based on which RCOM and RTIL were basically granted the loans. In fact, they make a mention of the fact that SBI invoked the PG, that is the deed of Anil Ambani, noting that there were repeated failures by RCOM and RITL to duly pay and discharge their liabilities. Now, what does this document prove? This document essentially proves that the argument that has been made by Anil Ambani that these are decisions that were not taken by him, but essentially by the board, falls completely flat. And it does not only be limited it's not limited only just to State Bank of India, but it turns out that these were the same guarantees that were given by Anil Ambani to the Chinese lenders. In fact, all this while, no one actually had any idea about the fact that that whether at all it was beyond SBI, whether at all it was beyond Indian banks. It now turns out from these documents that there were Chinese lenders who had also given money to Anil Ambani linked companies, and it turns out that those loans also became NPA at the end.
That's right. That's right. We are, of course, bringing in all the latest updates. Now, in terms of the legalities of this case, how far do we think that Anil Ambani can, or rather has the rights to sell or declare the existing assets he has?
Well, if you can just repeat the question, I just missed it.
That's right. For the fact that if you could explain to our viewers the legalities of this case, how far is this investigation headed to, or whether or not Anil Ambani has the privilege to sell off or rather, declare his existing assets before they get attached? Because we have seen in the recent attachment, one of the assets aboard the luxurious villa of Anil Ambani being attached by the Enforcement Directorate.
Well, in fact, we'll also try and bring in my colleague Sarthak, who's going to join us from outside the Enforcement Directorate office. To answer your question, there aren't much options available before Anil Ambani right now in terms of whether at all he can repay the loans to the bank and get himself cleared. It is now in the domain of the Supreme Court also, because an SIT has been formed at the directions of the Supreme Court. This SIT comprises officers of the Central Bureau of Investigation as well as the Enforcement Directorate. And a specific target has been given by the Supreme Court to the central agencies that a status report is to be submitted every month. They are also to explain why there has been a considerable delay in taking action as far as this case is concerned, because if you go by the words of the Supreme Court judges, then this is a bigger scam. And the fact that there has been very little investigation that has essentially been done. That is the reason why, remember, the investigating officers are also perhaps at this point in time under pressure to perform, particularly with the Supreme Court essentially monitoring every movement of the central agencies. As far as cooperation on the part of Anil Ambani is concerned, 6 summons have already been sent. This is perhaps the 3rd time that he is appearing, and it is not just limited now to Anil Ambani himself, but beyond Anil Ambani, his family members, that is his wife as well as his son, is now under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate, because there is more information which we are going to break in a short while from now, is the existence of trusts, these trusts that were basically introduced by Anil Ambani and his family members. What was the purpose of the trust? All of these details we're going to put out in a short while from now as we're going through each of these documents, which is explosive in nature. In a short while from now, we're also going to put out details of the letters that were actually sent by the Chinese banks to Anil Ambani.
That's right. Those were the exclusive details coming in, and we, as Shravan rightly mentioned, that we will be breaking more details, the in-depth analysis of the trusts that have been involved and the Chinese firms that have been involved in this matter. I believe we have Sarthak also, who is joining us live on the broadcast from outside the Enforcement Directorate office. Sarthak, what is the update that you can share with us from the ground at the moment?
Well, there is a huge development that has taken place recently, where ED is probing alleged diversion of bank loans under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And over here, a new development has taken place where the probe reveals that a loan extended by was extended by State Bank of India to Reliance Communications and Reliance Infratel Limited. This loan was granted on the basis of a personal guarantee by Anil Ambani. The personal guarantee was executed through a formal deed in 2016. Republic also got the opportunity to access the physical copy, the digital copy of the deed. And under the terms of the deed, Anil Ambani became personally liable for repayment of the entire loan amount in case of default by the borrower company. This means that lenders could legally proceed against Ambani's personal assets if the companies fail to repay. Just to give a reminder on what the investigation has what kind of investigation has been done by ED so far.
Okay.
The case is actually based on a CBI's FIRs and complaints by Indian public sectors. Recently, a couple of banks.
All right, Sarthak, thank you for joining us with those details and all the exclusive updates that we are sharing with our viewers. Super exclusive. Republic is getting in all the updates coming in as far as the crackdown on Anil Ambani is concerned. We will be bringing you all the latest other details coming in as far as Anil Ambani linked companies receiving funds from Chinese banks is concerned. Anil Ambani now owes rupees 13,558 crores to the Chinese lenders.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाह मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, again.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Anil Ambani reaches ED office in New Delhi in connection to probe in money laundering case. Republic accesses files which shows Anil Ambani owed money to Chinese lenders. Anil Ambani-linked companies received funds from Chinese banks. Anil owes rupees 13,558 crores to Chinese lenders. Republic accesses exclusive video of the face-off between Himachal and Delhi police. The Western Command of Indian Army today conducted a military exercise in Pathankot. Troops who demolished Pak during Operation Sindhu took part. All right, viewers, a very warm welcome. You're watching the Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta, and let's begin this bulletin with a big breaking news that is coming in right now. At this moment, we have a breaking news update coming in from the ongoing row between Delhi police and Himachal police over 3 arrests made in the AI Summit protest case. Now, Delhi police arrives in Delhi with the 3 accused arrested from Himachal. Now, Delhi police has entered Delhi's borders. Now, first, the 3 accused will be brought to the crime branch office. This is the biggest development, the latest details we are fetching on the row. We have big breaking news coming in. This is the latest update in the story. The Delhi police, in the row between Delhi police and Himachal police. And let's also watch the entire confrontation, the row that happened, the face-off that happened between Himachal police and Delhi police. This is Republic exclusive on your television screen.
मैं अभी अपनी फाइल लेके आता हूँ, मैं अपनी FIR दिखाता हूँ। एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट,
मीडिया के सामने करा
एक मिनट,
इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं।
अब तो
ट्रायल मीडिया करता है। एक पुलिस वाला बोल रही है
सर, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ। एक मिनट, मैंने FIR सर, एक मिनट बोल लेंगे, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हैं अभी,
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ
एक पुलिस वाले को काम करने से रोक
आपके ऊपर FIR दर्ज है, आप 3 बंदों को अगवा करके ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो ज्वाइन करिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन। आपको इतनी सी बात बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं तो हम करवाएंगे। आपको करना तो पड़ेगा, आपको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी, बस इतनी सी बात है।
ठीक है, अब मैं एक बात बोलूं, अब सुनिए, मेरी FIR है किस तारीख की? 20 तारीख की। 20 तारीख की FIR में अरेस्ट मैंने किया आज मॉर्निंग में, ठीक है, जिसमें कि मैं अभी अपनी फाइल लेके आता हूँ, मैं अपनी FIR दिखाता हूँ। एक मिनट सर,
मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं।
एक मिनट,
इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं। अब तो ट्रायल मीडिया करता है। एक पुलिस वाला बोल रही है
सर, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ। एक मिनट, मैंने FIR सर, एक मिनट बोल लेंगे, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हैं अभी,
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ
एक पुलिस वाले को काम करने से रोक ले।
आपके ऊपर FIR दर्ज है, आप 3 बंदों को अगवा करके ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो ज्वाइन करिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन। आपको इतनी सी बात बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं तो हम करवाएंगे। आपको करना तो पड़ेगा, आपको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी, बस इतनी सी बात है।
ठीक है, अब मैं एक बात बोलूं, अब सुनिए, मेरी FIR है किस तारीख की? 20 तारीख की। 20 तारीख की FIR में अरेस्ट मैंने किया आज मॉर्निंग में, ठीक है, जिसमें कि ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं 9 लोग अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं, उनके ऑलरेडी PC रिमांड आ चुके हैं। आज मैं सुबह अरेस्ट करके ला रहा हूँ, सुबह से मुझे आपने कोर्ट में सर सुनिए तो कहाँ जा रहे हैं सर?
बंदे हैं
सर
वहाँ पे थे।
मैं अभी अपनी फाइल लेके आता हूँ, मैं अपनी FIR दिखाता हूँ। एक मिनट सर,
मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं।
एक मिनट,
इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं।
अब तो
ट्रायल मीडिया करता है। एक पुलिस वाला बोल रही है
सर, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ। एक मिनट, मैंने FIR सर, एक मिनट बोल लेंगे, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हैं अभी,
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ
एक पुलिस वाले को काम करने से रोक ले।
आपके ऊपर FIR दर्ज है, आप 3 बंदों को अगवा करके ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो ज्वाइन करिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन। आपको इतनी सी बात बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं तो हम करवाएंगे। आपको करना तो पड़ेगा, आपको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी, बस इतनी सी बात है।
ठीक है, अब मैं एक बात बोलूं, अब सुनिए, मेरी FIR है किस तारीख की? 20 तारीख की। 20 तारीख की FIR में अरेस्ट मैंने किया आज मॉर्निंग में, ठीक है, जिसमें कि ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं 9 लोग अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं, उनके ऑलरेडी PC रिमांड आ चुके हैं। आज मैं सुबह अरेस्ट करके ला रहा हूँ, सुबह से मुझे आपने कोर्ट में सर सुनिए तो कहाँ जा रहे हैं सर?
बंदे हैं
सर
वहाँ पे थे।
हिमाचल प्रदेश जाना जाता है देश की सीमाओं को सुरक्षित करने के लिए और देश के अंदर भी नक्सलवाद से संघर्ष करने के लिए। हिमाचल के युवाओं का योगदान उस दिशा में था, लेकिन आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने को बचाने वालों में आ रहा है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर कपड़े खोलकर नंगा नाच, शेमलेस और शर्टलेस प्रदर्शन करने वाले कांग्रेसी कार्यकर्ता जिन्होंने देश को शर्मसार दुनिया भर के सामने किया, उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल सदन दिल्ली में मिली, हिमाचल सरकार के द्वारा मिली। उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल प्रदेश की राजधानी में मिली, हिमाचल की सरकार, हिमाचल की पुलिस के द्वारा मिली। ये दुर्भाग्य है कि आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने वालों के साथ जुड़ रहा है और कांग्रेस की सरकार उनकी मदद कर रही है।
लेकिन हिमाचल पुलिस ये किस तरीके से नाज़िर पेश कर रही है?
देखिए, कुछ भी हो, जिन लोगों ने अगर ये कुकृत्य इस तरह से किया कि देश को बदनाम किया, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर आप प्रदर्शन करिए, विरोध करिए, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, लेकिन किस मंच पे कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से कर रहे हैं? क्या ये 60 साल सत्ता में रहने वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी का यही चेहरा है कि भारत के बढ़ते कदमों का विरोध, भारत में आने वाले निवेश का विरोध, भारत के युवाओं को रोजगार का विरोध, भारत की बढ़ती लोकप्रियता का विरोध, हर तरफ नफरत की सोच मोदी जी के खिलाफ, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ, और अब भारत के खिलाफ नफरत की जो सोच राहुल गांधी जी और कांग्रेस पार्टी की है, ये दुर्भाग्य है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश की कांग्रेस सरकार इसका हिस्सा बनी।
प्रधानमंत्री जिस तरीके से इजराइल के दौरे पर गए, लेकिन असदुद्दीन ओवैसी और तमाम विपक्ष के नेता सवाल उठा रहे हैं। असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जिस तरीके से इजराइल पे दौरे पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं, और क्या कहेंगे आप?
इजराइल भारत का मित्र है और हमने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एक आवाज
और दिव्यांग करने के बाद पुलिस की टीम
All right, so these are the accused who have been brought here to Delhi by Delhi police, and we also showed you the face-off video between the cops of both the state, and now they have entered Delhi, and now they are being presented in the crime branch office. Now these are exclusive visuals, live visuals of the three accused. Now these are the live visuals, exclusive visuals on your television screen. These are the three accused who have been brought from Himachal Pradesh to Delhi. Live visuals.
को दिखा दूं, ये गाड़ी आप देख रहे हैं, इन्हीं गाड़ी से हिमाचल से आरोपियों को लाया गया। ये काले रंग की आप स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी देख रहे हैं, और इस गाड़ी के अंदर भी जो शख्स है वो रुमाल बांधा हुआ मुंह पे आपको साफ तौर पर नजर आ रहा है। तो यानी कि तीनों ही आरोपियों को अब जो क्राइम ब्रांच की टीम है वो क्राइम ब्रांच दफ्तर लेकर पहुंची है, और आगे अब यहाँ से इन्वेस्टिगेशन इस पूरे मामले में की जाएगी। वो थार गाड़ी भी बरामद कर ली गई, और उसके अलावा जो तीनों आरोपियों को गिरफ्तार किया था हिमाचल के गेस्ट हाउस से, उन सभी को लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस की जो टीम है वो अब क्राइम ब्रांच के दफ्तर पहुंची, और बाकी के गिरफ्तार जो 8 आरोपी है वो भी इसी क्राइम ब्रांच के दफ्तर में है। और आप तस्वीरों में देखेंगे कि काले रंग की जो स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी आपको नजर आ रही है, पीछे की सीट पर बैठे हुए वो शख्स है जिन्होंने मुंह से अपना रुमाल जो है वो ढका हुआ है। सौरभ, सिद्धार्थ और अरबाज, इन तीनों की गिरफ्तारी जो है वो हिमाचल से की, और हिमाचल में हिमाचल पुलिस हो या दिल्ली पुलिस हो, वो आमने सामने भी आपको नजर आई थी। दिल्ली पुलिस के ऊपर बाकायदा FIR भी हिमाचल पुलिस ने दर्ज की, लेकिन आप तस्वीरें साफ तौर पर ये दिल्ली क्राइम ब्रांच दफ्तर की देख रहे हैं, जहां पर आप साफ तौर पर देखेंगे कि तीनों ही जो गिरफ्तार आरोपी जिनको हिमाचल से गिरफ्तार किया, आप ये देखिए लोग जो है जिनको गिरफ्तार किया गया उनको उतारा जा रहा है, फेस पूरे तरीके से कवर किया था। हिमाचल में तकरीबन 2 दिन पुलिस वहां पर रही, तमाम कानूनी जो प्रोसीडिंग्स है उसका पालन किया गया, और अब उसके बाद क्राइम ब्रांच के दफ्तर की लाइव तस्वीरें मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं, जहां पर जो क्राइम ब्रांच की टीम है वो अब इन तीनों ही आरोपियों को कोर्ट में पेश करेगी, और उसके बाद आगे की जो कानूनी कार्रवाई है वो की जाएगी। आपको मैं बता दूं कि गेस्ट हाउस में ये लोग छिपे हुए थे, अमेठी, सुल्तानपुरी और MP के रीवा के रहने वाले, लेकिन हिमाचल के गेस्ट हाउस में क्या कर रहे थे ये सबसे बड़ी बात है, इसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करना है। साथ ही बिना नंबर प्लेट की जो थार गाड़ी है वो भी इनके गेस्ट हाउस से जब्त की गई, उसको भी पुलिस अपने साथ लेकर यहाँ पर जो है वो हिमाचल से पहुंची है। तो जिस तरीके से गिरफ्तारी, क्योंकि पूरे AI समिट में 11 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी अभी तक की गई है, सभी का डायरेक्ट कांग्रेस यूथ विंग से जुड़ा हुआ जो कनेक्शन है वो स्टैब्लिश हुआ। जो जिन 3 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी की गई उसमें से 2 ऐसे लोग हैं जो कि AI समिट के दौरान प्रोटेस्ट में शामिल थे, लेकिन एक ऐसा भी है उसमें जो इस पूरी कॉन्स्पिरेसी में शामिल था। तो कुल मिलाकर अभी तक 11 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी, हिमाचल से जिन 3 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया उनको लेकर अब क्राइम ब्रांच की टीम दिल्ली के क्राइम ब्रांच दफ्तर में पहुंची है। हालांकि ट्रांजिट रिमांड लेकर आई है, अब इसके बाद कोर्ट में पेश किया जाएगा, और आगे की जो कानूनी कार्रवाई है वो साफ तौर पर अब की जाएगी। तस्वीरें मैं आपको फिर से दिखा दूं, अगर मेरे विजय मुकेश आपको दिखाएं, सबसे पीछे आपको स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी खड़ी नजर आ रही है, उसके एक गाड़ी छोड़कर आगे जो आपको थार नजर आ रही है, दरअसल ये वही थार गाड़ी है जिसमें बिना नंबर प्लेट की थी और उसी गेस्ट हाउस पे थी। पुलिस को इस बात की भी आशंका है कि आखिरकार क्यों ये लोग जो है वो हिमाचल में शेल्टर लिए बैठे थे। तमाम ऐसे एंगल्स हैं जिसको लेकर अब इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो है वो साफ तौर पर की जा रही है।
All right, so these are the live visuals coming in from the crime branch office, and the 3 accused in the Congress Banyan Circus, the shirtless protest that was done at the AI India Impact Summit. Now, these 3 have been brought from Himachal Pradesh to Delhi. Now, they were evading police, clearly a case because they are not the residents of Himachal Pradesh. Now, what business do they have in Himachal Pradesh? That's the big question. Were they trying to evade the police? Were they trying to evade arrest? 9 people were already arrested before, including these 3. It becomes 12. So there was also a face-off between Delhi police and Himachal Pradesh police. We also showed you the exclusive visuals, the exclusive confrontation between the Delhi police and the Himachal Pradesh police. And this is the latest update. Now, they were taken to Ambala earlier for a medical examination, and later they have now reached Delhi in the Delhi Crime Branch office, and they will be questioned now in the Crime Branch office. Exclusive visuals on your television screen. The faces are covered. These are the 3 accused, in the AI India Impact Summit. Now, the names are Saurav, Siddharth and Arbaz, who were apprehended by the special cell of the Delhi police. They were apprehended from a hotel in Shimla district. Now, this later led to dramatic events, dramatic turn of events after Himachal police intercepted the Delhi police team when they were transporting the accused to Delhi. And you also we showed you the confrontation between the Delhi police and Himachal Pradesh. All right, we have Shambhavi with us for more updates in this story. Shambhavi, these are the live visuals we are showing to our viewers. They have been brought to the crime branch office. What details do you have? First of all, they had no business in Himachal Pradesh. Now, what are the arguments given by police?
Definitely, they had no business in Himachal Pradesh, and now that they've been brought to court, that let us tell our viewers, it was not an easy road for the Delhi police to be able to bring them, although they were involved in an act, such a shameless and shirtless act that has put India's name to shame on a global platform, on a platform where India was being praised by the top tech minds of the world. There was investments made. India was being praised by the program or the kind of event that India has hosted, but on such platform they put the India's name to shame by their derobing act, where they started taking their clothes off, they barged in, and then they did something which is again very disgraceful for India. And in such act, where all hands on deck situation should be assessed, when Delhi police tried to arrest them from Himachal, there was an altercation, the high voltage drama unfolded, where there was an altercation between the Himachal police and the Delhi police, where the Himachal police not once, not twice, not thrice, but more than 4 times stopped Delhi's police's way from bringing those 3 accused back to Delhi. But now that they've been brought back to Delhi, they're being presented before the crime branch, and definitely this will become a part of a broader investigation, and also the reason behind why this was a point of altercation between Himachal police and Delhi police is yet to be discovered. Back to you, Shivam.
Definitely, the BJP definitely is arguing, they are putting this forward, that the Himachal Pradesh government was trying to shield the accused. Now, this was also leveled, the charge was leveled against the Himachal Pradesh government, Shambhavi, and also this was not an easy task for the Delhi crime branch to bring them till Delhi, because they were also detained for a short while in Himachal Pradesh. And the confrontation that we showed, the police officer in Himachal Pradesh, he clearly mentioned that an FIR has been registered against you for kidnapping these 3. Shambhavi.
Absolutely, and for them to abscond from Delhi and to go and hide in a cottage in Himachal Southern, and for them to have an unlicensed car, namely Thar in this matter, there was definitely some support behind them. It wouldn't have been possible for such a high profile. Now, this was a high profile case, what unfolded at India's AI Impact Summit. Now, for them to actually abscond from Delhi and find a home in Himachal, there was definitely some backing with them. There was definitely some powerful hands involved, because it wouldn't be possible otherwise. And even if that was not the case, when the Delhi police tried to bring them back, why the delay? Why stopping them? Why stopping all their 3 cars at 3 different points? The Shimla police quickly turned into actions. It stopped Delhi's car, which was bringing the accused from 3 different points. It rescued the absconders. It presented it before the court. And the court very rightly gave the permission to Delhi police to bring them back to Delhi. Again, it was stopped by the Himachal police. So again, this was a repetitive thing which happened. So what was their business? Why supporting or why rescuing, and why the altercation, or why the problem or the difference between 2 states police in the first place? Shivam.
Definitely, Shambhavi, you stay with us. Viewers will show you the 3 visuals on your television screen. Now, these are the 3 visuals of the late night clashes, the clash that happened, the face-off between the cops, that was the Himachal Pradesh police and the Delhi police, the special cell, the crime branch. And the second visual is of the accused, who are the exclusive latest visuals. All are exclusive visuals. The accused, when they were brought to Delhi, in Delhi crime branch office. Now, they will be questioned further. 9 arrests have already taken place in this matter. These are add this 3 and it becomes 12. And the last visual, the third visual, is of the Congress protest in New Delhi. So the Congress is still protesting and is adamant to keep on protesting. Now, the arrests that were made, that have been made, is on because of the protests that were, the shirtless protest that was conducted by the youth workers of Congress. And these are the latest visuals, exclusive visuals. One of the late night clash, that the face-off that happened between the Himachal Pradesh police and the Delhi special crime branch, and also the accused brought to Delhi, and the Congress protest. All right, Shambhavi, the Congress right now is protesting. The Congress seems adamant to keep on protesting, and they justify what they have done. They say what we have done is nothing wrong. Even the shirtless protest, they're justifying the shirtless protest as of now, right now, Shambhavi.
Shim, the first question that comes here is protesting for what? What are they protesting for? They're protesting for justifying putting India's name or to shame on a global level, on an international level, disgracing India, and also putting on such a shameless, shirtless act that they pulled, barging in the India's AI Impact Summit, started derobing their clothes. That is what they're protesting to defend here. So this definitely is a little weird. We can say that they are trying to justify their actions. What they did was try to make an international event, an event which was not associated with any government, which was not associated with particular ministers. It was an international event. It was representing India. It is something as crucial as AI in today's time. So they're still, and now that they've been brought, as you can see in the visuals that we are currently showing our viewers right now, they've been brought, the 3 accused. There are 8 accused who are already in the court at the crime branch. The rest of the 3 accused have also been successfully brought to the crime branch. Not an easy road, definitely, for the Delhi police to bring them back, but they were successful, and now a total of 11 accused in this entire matter now back in the court.
All right, Shambhavi, thanks for the details. We'll come back to you as more details unfold in this story. All right, so these are the 3 visuals of the late night clashes and the accused who have been brought to Delhi, to the crime branch office, and the Congress protest that is happening right now in Delhi. All right, viewers, now let's move on to our next top story. Now, tension has escalated in Maharashtra's Malegaon after a civic protest over road repairs took a religious turn inside the municipal corporation office. Now, what began as a demand for infrastructure fixes has now led to police action and political reactions. Watch this report for more information.
Over the last 1 month, communal tensions have been simmering in pockets of Maharashtra. One such incident is reported from Malegaon this time. A video of government employees inside the Malegaon Municipal Corporation office has gone viral. They entered the electricity department premises and offered namaz while demanding road repairs in the area. This move triggered sharp reactions from the local Hindu groups. The next day, Hindu protesters gathered at the municipal commissioner's office. They recited the Hanuman Chalisa inside the building. Slogans were raised, escalating tensions further. Police had to intervene as the situation intensified. An FIR has been registered against 7 individuals. Charges include unlawful assembly and obstruction of a public servant. Sections of the Maharashtra Police Act have also been invoked. Various political leaders raised concerns for the same. BJP leader Kirit Somaiya demanded strict action.
मालेगांव महापालिका में सरकारी कर्मचारी और कुछ नागरिक नमाज भी पढ़ने लगे हैं। मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी से भी मैंने प्रार्थना की है, ये सब सरकारी अधिकारियों को ताबड़तोड़ सस्पेंड करना चाहिए।
Maharashtra Minister Nitish Rane also jumped in, reacting strongly to the development. Authorities say the situation is currently tense but under control. Security has been tightened as the investigation continues.
All right, viewers, now let's move on to our next top story. Now, at a press conference by the Indian Army, the Western Army Commander, that is Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katia, warned Pak of ground invasion. Now, this warning was given, cautioning Pakistan against taking a war. Let's watch this report.
सिंदूर में जैसा आपने देखा कि हमने 7 तारीख को उनके सभी टेररिस्ट बेसिस पर हमला किया था, उसके बाद उन्होंने कुछ जवाबी कार्रवाई की और उसके जवाब में जो हमने उनके मिलिट्री बेसिस, एयर बेसिस को जिस तरह से बर्बाद किया, उसके बाद उसने फिर सीज़ फायर की मांग की। और सीज़ फायर की मांग सिर्फ डायरेक्टली हमसे नहीं की, हमको लगता है कि और भी देशों के पास।
इजराइल में स्वागत सम्मान हुआ है। वो भारत के प्रति, भारतीयों के प्रति इजराइल के दिलों में जो गहरा लगाव है उसका प्रतिबिंब है और इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आपने सही कहा कि भारत और इजराइल का संबंध अनेक क्षेत्रों में बड़ी मजबूती के साथ ग्लोबल गुड के लिए काम आ सकता है। साइंस हो, इनोवेशन हो, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हो, और कुछ चीजों में तो अपनी बहुत बड़ी महारत है, खास करके पानी के संबंध में, एग्रीकल्चर के संबंध में। और भारत इजराइल की बहुत सी अच्छी चीजों को आज भी भारत में, खास करके एग्रीकल्चर में लागू करने का प्रयास करता है और उसके अच्छे परिणाम भी निकल रहे हैं। राष्ट्रपति जी, मेरी खुशी है कि मुझे इसके पहले भी आपको अलग अलग जगह पे मिलने का मौका मिला है। मैंने आपको विचारों की स्पष्टता सुनी है, भारत के प्रति आपका मान सम्मान का भाव देखा है और इसके लिए मैं भी आपका बहुत आभारी हूं। और राष्ट्रपति जी, आज मुझे मौका है, जब मैं आपके पास आया हूं, भारत के लोग आपका स्वागत करने के लिए बहुत उत्सुक हैं और इसलिए मैं विशेष रूप से आपको भारत आने का निमंत्रण देता हूं। और मैं आपसे आग्रह करूंगा कि सिर्फ दिल्ली आकर के मत जाना, कुछ समय ज्यादा निकालना, ताकि भारत के अन्य कुछ स्थानों को भी, वहां के लोगों को भी आपका स्वागत करने का अवसर मिले।
Prime Minister Modi, your visit to Israel is exciting the Israeli people with your friendship, with your honesty and frankness, and with the expression of compassion and alliance with Israel and its story. I believe that India is an essential part of the great future of the Middle East. And the Middle East is an essential part of the great future of India. I saw your record number of growth. Your economic growth is something that is attracting the whole world. It's fantastic. And I wanted to suggest in practicality that, you know, we see the young Indian people all over the world with their brains and innovation. We see them in universities and colleges and research centers, of course, in India. And I think that with the various changes in the geostrategic situation, including in the possibility of learning in higher institutions around the world, Indian universities and Israeli universities have a golden opportunity of sharing know-how together for the future of our young generations. And I encourage your brilliant young Indian students to come to study in Israel, and I encourage the Israeli brilliant students to study in India. And I believe, in conclusion, that the fact that this connectivity between Israel and India can change the entire geostrategic situation towards the advantages of the global south and the connectivity between even the United States to Southeast Asia through the Eastern Hemisphere. So, you know, we know you lead the world in so many fields, and we are very moved and excited that you're here with us. Toda rabba.
Thank you, Excellency. राष्ट्रपति जी, आपने जिस उम्दा शब्दों से हम सबका स्वागत किया है, इसके लिए मैं आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं। और मैं देख रहा हूं कि कल से जिस प्रकार से मेरा और मेरे डेलीगेशन का इजराइल में स्वागत सम्मान हुआ है, वो भारत के प्रति, भारतीयों के प्रति इजराइल के दिलों में जो गहरा लगाव है उसका प्रतिबिंब है और इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आपने सही कहा कि भारत और इजराइल का संबंध अनेक क्षेत्रों में बड़ी मजबूती के साथ ग्लोबल गुरु के लिए काम आ सकता है। साइंस हो, इनोवेशन हो, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हो, और कुछ चीजों में तो आपने बहुत बड़ी महारत है, खास करके पानी के संबंध में, एग्रीकल्चर के संबंध में। और भारत इजराइल की बहुत सी अच्छी चीजों को आज भी भारत में खास करके एग्रीकल्चर में लागू करने का प्रयास करता है और उसके अच्छे परिणाम भी निकल रहे हैं। राष्ट्रपति जी, मेरी खुशी है कि मुझे इसके पहले भी आपको अलग अलग जगह पे मिलने का मौका मिला है। मैंने आपको विचारों की स्पष्टता सुनी है, भारत के प्रति आपका मान सम्मान का भाव देखा है और इसके लिए मैं भी आपका बहुत आभारी हूं। और राष्ट्रपति जी, आज मुझे मौका है, जब मैं आपके पास आया हूं, भारत के लोग आपका स्वागत करने के लिए बहुत उत्सुक हैं और इसलिए मैं विशेष रूप से आपको भारत आने का निमंत्रण देता हूं। और मैं आपसे आग्रह करूंगा कि सिर्फ दिल्ली आकर के मत जाना, कुछ समय ज्यादा निकालना, ताकि भारत के अन्य कुछ स्थानों को भी, वहां के लोगों को भी आपका स्वागत करने का अवसर मिले।
तो उसमें आप कौन सा केबल का? All right, so these are the latest visuals coming in. The PM Modi holds bilateral meet with Israeli president, and Israeli president says India has shown support, and PM Modi holds bilateral talks with Israeli President Isaac Herzog. On your television screen, latest update in this visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Israel. Now, these are the bilaterals that are happening, and earlier PM visited the Holocaust Museum also, and he paid tribute to the 6 million Jews who were killed in the Holocaust. And now it's the bilateral that is happening between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the President of Israel. Live visuals on your television screen from Israel, from Jerusalem. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day visit. Now, the visit will conclude today at around 4:50, around 5 p.m. PM Modi will depart from Israel for New Delhi. Live visuals coming in from Jerusalem. All right. Our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor is joining us live on a phone line to speak on this issue. Abhishek, this is very important, the bilateral meeting that is happening right now between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Israeli President. What more details?
Well, this is before the delegation talks. This is like it happens in a state visit. The leaders meet all the principals. So, President of Israel, Isaac Herzog, and he posted an hour back his welcome of Prime Minister Modi with a video of the kind of preparation that have gone in at the presidential palace or presidential house. And now we are seeing these pictures of Prime Minister meeting Herzog. These are still not those delegation level talks where a substantive move would happen on taking the overall India-Israel relationship forward to the next level, where we are expecting that there might be an upgrade from a plain vanilla strategic partnership to a special privileged partnership. The announcement might happen during the joint statement, but we have to wait for a while for that. Very few engagements left of the Prime Minister now. From here, he would be heading to the delegation talks, then the joint statement. Remember, Prime Minister has traveled with a high-powered delegation with all the principals insofar as India's foreign policy and national security establishment is concerned, led by S. Jaishankar and NSA Ajit Doval, respectively. And so you can expect that the two sides are going to make a bold statement of intent in terms of securing and furthering the bonds and the strength of the relationship even further. But as of now, we are getting pictures of Prime Minister engaging with Isaac Herzog, the President of Israel.
Yes.
And after that, the delegation level talks, and then the joint statement, after which the Prime Minister would be emplaning back for New Delhi.
Yes. Yes, Abhishek, also it's important to mention that it's not just about the MOUs that will be signed, the deals which will be happening and the technology that will be transferred. It's also the people-to-people connect. The way Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said that he's not a friend, he's more than a friend, he's a brother. And also the mention by Prime Minister Narendra Modi that the Indian Jewish community lived in India always, fearlessly, speaks a lot, speaks volumes, Abhishek.
Well, yes. So, I mean, from the moment that Prime Minister Modi has landed in Tel Aviv yesterday to the time now, effectively you have seen PM Netanyahu accompanying him to every event. And that really gives you an idea of the kind of backing or support or, going that extra mile that's happening from the Israeli side. The fact that their Prime Minister is at every event where Prime Minister has made an appearance, including the Yad Vashem Memorial. And then that coming to the people-to-people connect. Remember the speech that Prime Minister Modi made to the Israeli Knesset, becoming first Indian Prime Minister to be doing that. He mentioned how from the ancient times to the present times, the Jewish community in India, from the northeast to Mumbai, and down south to Karnataka, they have made a tremendous contribution to India first, and then, of course, by way of migration back to Israel, to the Israeli nation, modern nation as well. He specifically mentioned half a dozen names, including General J.F.R. Jacob. So,
thanks a lot.
And breaking news coming in, Kerala Story 2 case update. Court directs the CBFC to consider the petitioner's representation and decide the matter within 2 weeks and grant an interim stay on the film. It's a big setback coming in for the Kerala Story 2 filmmakers. And an interim stay in this case on the film is being granted. And it is likely to be granted rather. In fact, the petitioner's representation and the decision of the matter within 2 weeks. And we will get in more details. It is coming in as a big setback because there were several petitions that were filed in front of the court challenging the... All right, Sarthak, my colleague, joins us live on the broadcast. Sarthak, it's coming in as a big setback for Kerala Story 2, with the court directing the CBFC to consider the petitioner's representation and decide the matter within 2 weeks, and also granting an interim stay on the film.
Yes, Priyanka, absolutely. However, the court has not directly banned the film permanently, but it's an interim stay, meaning that the film cannot be released or screened for now. The court has directed the Central Board of Film Certification, CBFC, to consider the petitioner's representation and complaint and his objection in this matter. CBFC will have to now examine the objections that have been raised by the complainant, and which talks about alleged defamation to the Kerala state, because the Kerala Story, the entire title, the issue around the title of the film is that it defames the state of Kerala, and some things that have been mentioned in the teaser, in the trailer of the film, that happens to be derogatory and defamatory towards the state of Kerala. It hurts religious sentiments. There is a misrepresentation of facts in this movie. This is threat to the public order. There is this also violation of the certification rules, the certification that is granted by CBFC. At this point, CBFC has given a strict timeline of 2 weeks to take the action. This means the court is saying that CBFC has to apply its mind to this case, and as of now, the Supreme Court has put a stay on the release of the film, so the film cannot be released in theaters for now. One point that Supreme Court was mentioning on the last date of hearing as well the Kerala High Court was mentioning on the last date of hearing as well, is that we cannot get to a plausible conclusion till the time we do not really watch the movie. So they were insisting of screening the film in the open court, because the complaint has been filed against the teaser and the trailer and the kind of content that has been shown in the teaser and the trailer. The defense says that the content on the film differs from the teaser and the trailer, and it's a bit presumptuous on their end to make any kind of complaints just by watching teaser and trailer. But for now, 2 weeks stay has been put on the movie. That is something that we have learned so far about this entire issue. Back to the studio.
Sarthak, appreciate you giving us the details, but let me also go across to my colleague Sankar joining us from Thiruvananthapuram. Sankar, it is a big setback coming in for the Kerala story too, and with the fact that for 2 weeks there is going to be an interim stay on the film, and there are other notifications also issued at this point in time. What is the lookout of the petitioners now, and what are the other developments coming in?
The petition, the plea filed by Sridev Nambudiri, a Kannur resident, seeking to ban the release of the movie, was considered by the court for the last couple of days, and today the final, not the final verdict, but today the court, the High Court, issued a temporary stay on the release of the movie for 15 days, and in the meantime, the CBFC has to screen the movie again with the participation of the people who filed the plea, with the representation of the people, Sridev Nambudiri and others who filed the plea, and after 15 days, the court will convene again to hear the matter, and the concerns of the petitioners will be heard again to take a final decision whether to cut some parts of the movie or permanently cancel the release of the movie. That decision will be taken after 15 days. When after 15 days and in the 15 days time, the CBFC has to arrange a screening venue for the to have
through an advocate expressing all their concerns, and the court will again hear the matter in 15 days. The matter was supposed to be heard in the morning on Thursday, but as a defense, the producer of the movie filed a plea before the court, stating that if the matter is considered the morning, they would get enough time to approach the upper court to have a say on the order being passed by the High Court, but the court did not consider the matter in the morning and posted it for hearing afternoon. And at exactly at 2 o'clock, the court convened again and released a much-awaited verdict in which it stayed the movie for 15 days by giving some observations that even just by watching the teaser, the 2-minute teaser of the movie, a person or anybody can understand there are some contents that affects the contents that affect the religious harmony of the state, and the concerns of the concerns of the petitioner that the movie has full of misinformation and lies cannot be discarded, and it has to be addressed because it's a matter that affects the religious harmony of the state. So the 15 days time was given for the screening the movie by CBFC and the union government, and the court also criticized serious lapse from the side of CBFC in granting permission for the release of such a movie, because the court said there are contents that affects the religious harmony of the state, and it should not have been given release permission without screening the movie properly. So the concerns of the petitioner was accepted by the court, and in the 15 days there will be a screening of this movie will take place, and the time and venue of the play, the time and venue will be announced, will have to be informed to the court by the petitioner in the
coming days. And for doing all these things, for informing the court about the venue, the time, and the screening done, and the concerns of both the petitioners and even the defense at the producer side, will have to be submitted before the court in 15 days, and the court will convene again after at a time after 15 days to give a final order whether to allow the release of the movie or to cut some parts of it and take some other decision.
That's right. Stay on with us. Let me also go back to Sarthak. Sarthak, the court says that the movie could affect religious harmony in Kerala, and for the fact that there is going to be an interim stay for 2 weeks now, a movie which was supposed to be released on Friday. What lies ahead?
Right now the court is not deciding the merits of the controversy right now. The interim stay ensures that the film is not released before CBFC reconsiders the matter. The issue does not become irreversible. Once released, the issue will become irreversible if after 2 weeks, if CBFC rejects the objections, the stay may be vacated. However, if CBFC in some or the other way modifies or entirely withdraws the certification, then the producers might go ahead with challenging that withdrawal of certification with further legal follow-ups. And then there is a possibility that parties may again approach the court depending upon the outcome of the case. Back to the studio.
That's right. More and more updates coming in. Let me now go back to Sankar joining us from Kerala here. Sankar, help our viewers understand the entire controversy that went on behind this film and the efforts to not release these films, and also for the fact that there are several religious sentiments that are being hurt.
Yes, sir. Some days back, the teaser of this movie was released, and it was shared by millions across the world and even in Kerala. And there were the social media was flooded with comments in favor of this movie and also against the movie. And in the meantime, adding fuel to the controversy, as Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has shared a Facebook post in a strongly worded statement. He criticized the release of the movie and even the producers for trying to destroy the religious harmony in the state. He said even the first part of the movie had a whole lot of lies and blatant misinformation. And this second part of the movie is also being planned to repeat the same thing against Kerala. He stated before his Facebook page that Kerala stands as a beacon of social harmony and other virtual qualities. And this movie is intended only to destroy its virtual qualities and its religious harmony. Soon and days later, a person from Kannur approached the High Court with a plea seeking to ban the ban the release of this movie. And there were allegations that this particular person, the petitioner, was making deliberate delays in approaching the court. As it would, had he been approached earlier, then the producers of the movie would get enough time if the verdict is against them, so that they can go to the upper court and get some orders in favor of them. But with a deliberate intention to avoid giving time to the producers of the movie, the petitioner approached the High Court in a very late moment, just 3 or 4 days ahead of the release of this movie, and this provided no room or no opportunity for the producers of the movie to challenge the verdict which is being passed by the High Court in Kerala. This movie, some section of the society was against the release of the movie, and some the SFI, the left student being even conducted a beef festival across Kerala campaigning against the release of the movie, and some other organizations criticized holding such events such as beef festival, and they openly provided beef and parota to the public with an intention to openly challenge the release of this movie. But other Muslims organizations were against holding such events, and but in fact a section of the society, over 50% of the success, 50 or 60% of the society was against the release of the movie, even without seeing what was inside, just by seeing the teaser of 2-minute teaser. In the 2-minute teaser, there were some mention of beef and religious conversion and radicalization, but a section of the society believed that such mispractices are not there in the society, because but the Republic TV held an investigation some weeks back and found such practices, such radicalized practices, and even the conversions exist in Kerala. And we could even speak to some local CPM leaders in Kasaragod, and he even admitted such religious practices, such radicalized activities that take place in Kerala. And the movie was fully exposing such practices that exist in Kerala. But the producers of the movie stated before the court that he was not exposing the issues that is being exposing the issues which is relevant not only in Kerala but also in other states like Rajasthan, UP and all.
Right. Thank you for joining us, Sarthak and Sankar, for all the details that we are tracking on this breaking updates. With that, we shift our focus now, viewers, to more news and updates coming in. Home Minister Amit Shah addressed a public gathering in Bihar's Araria after inaugurating 2 new border outposts, Leti and Indarva, and laying the foundation for several projects of the Sahastra Seema Bal. In his address, Shah focused sharply on border security, infiltration and illegal encroachment in the Seemanchal region.
हमने चुनाव में बिहार की जनता को वादा किया था कि हम बिहार को घुसपैठियों से मुक्त करेंगे। घुसपैठियों से मुक्ति से मतलब सिर्फ मतदाता सूची से नाम हटाना नहीं, हम कृतनिश्चयी है कि एक एक घुसपैठिए को भारत की भूमि से चुन चुन कर भारत के बाहर भेजने का कार्यक्रम करेंगे। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी स्पष्ट कर देना चाहती है, मेरी सरकार भी स्पष्ट करना चाहती है कि वादा चुनावी वादा नहीं है। नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार का ये दृढ़ संकल्प है कि पूरे देश को हम घुसपैठियों से मुक्त करेंगे और ये पूरे सीमांचल क्षेत्र में ये शुरुआत कुछ ही समय में होने जा रही है। मैं खुद चुनाव के वक्त 4 दिन सीमांचल में रहा था, हर जिले में गया हूं और ये वादा किया है जनता को कि हम पूरे सीमांचल को घुसपैठियों से मुक्त करेंगे। आमतौर पर नेताओं के वादे जनता को याद कराना पड़ता है, मगर आज मैं सीमांचल की जनता को मेरा वादा याद कराने आया हूं, क्योंकि मुझे सीमांचल की जनता का सहयोग चाहिए। घुसपैठिए सीट हमारे चुनाव को प्रभावित नहीं करते हैं, गरीबों के राशन में भी वो हिस्सा ले जाते हैं, हमारी रोजगारी में भी हमारे युवाओं की सारी संभावनाओं को क्षीण करते हैं और इसके साथ साथ राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा के लिए भी एक घुसपैठिए बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है।
Viewers, breaking news coming in. There's another case registered against Anil Ambani by the CBI. That's a big breaking development coming in. The crackdown is only increasing on Anil Ambani. There's another case which has been registered against Anil Ambani. On one hand, he's already being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, and on the other hand, the CBI has registered a fresh case on Anil Ambani. We will be getting in more details on this. But there are several angles that are now being scrutinized, whether there were loans that were taken from the Chinese banks and also the loans that were taken on accounts of his own goodwill, and other updates that are coming in, but the breaking news that we have right now that CBI has filed fresh case against Anil Ambani as he continues to remain under scrutiny, under lens of the investigating agencies in connection with the 40,000 crore bank fraud case under the PMLA, which is linked to the money laundering case. He entered the probe agency's office at around 10:30 a.m., that is the Enforcement Directorate, who are questioning Anil Ambani, and his multiple group companies are facing the allegations of loan fraud, with the ED recently constituting a SIT to probe all the instances. And Sarthak joins me for more on this. Sarthak, with the one hand, Anil Ambani under the scanner and being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, the CBI has come and they have filed another case against Anil Ambani. Help us with the details.
Yes, Chaka, Republic has been in the forefront where we are aggressively tracking the entire case. And there are several developments happening in this. And the latest that we know of, Republic has been able to gain access of the FIR that has been registered against Anil Ambani, Reliance Communications and other entities. The FIR was filed on a complaint that was made by Bank of Baroda, which stressed upon assets management, which was stressed by the assets management branch in Mumbai. The case was registered under several sections of IPC 120B, which happens to be which relates to criminal conspiracy, IPC 420, which amounts to cheating, and also prevention of corruption provisions have also been added in the FIR. The offences that have been alleged in the FIR go from the period from 2013 to 2017. The fraud amount details that has been mentioned in the FIR, it's a little over 2,000 crores. The total sanctioned facilities that we know of it's a little around 2,500 crores. And after the forensic audit, the claims have been made that there was systematic diversion and misuse of borrowed funds. There was somehow routing money by Reliance Telecommunications through some group entities prior, and these transactions included companies like Reliance Telecommunications, Reliance Infratel Limited, Reliance Telecom Limited. There was somehow some amount of recycling and layering funds was done by these companies to in some way camouflage the end use. Also, there are other allegations been pressed in the FIR, manipulation of books of account, some misrepresentation of financial health. So several allegations and several provisions of the IPC have been pressed in the FIR. ED is also investigating the matter. Anil Ambani is still at the ED office where they are constantly questioning him about the loan fraud, about the financial transactions that are made by these companies. To remind the viewers, however, this may not be part of the actual investigation that is being done by ED, but they may also consider the fact that this is not the first time Reliance Communications or Anil Ambani has been under the radar of loan fraud, because details has also been brought in led by Republic, where Reliance Communication also made was under the radar of loan fraud with some Chinese companies. A case was filed by these Chinese companies in.
Right. Sarthak, thank you for giving us the details on that story, and we will be tracking the minute-to-minute updates as the crackdown grows on Anil Ambani. But it's time we dip into a short commercial break. More news and updates on the other side. Let's take a look what's coming up next. Republic accesses exclusive video of the face-off between Himachal and Delhi police. Accused brought back to Delhi.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Now here's the reality. It's fact, not fiction. You are sitting on a plane. You're boarding the plane in the national capital of India for Leh at 6:08 in the morning. It's a SpiceJet plane. 6 minutes into the take, against the backdrop of daybreak and a beautiful sunrise, you suddenly look to your right towards the wings and you see the flames of fire on the wings of the plane. Your plane is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, these are real visuals. This is the reality that the Civil Aviation Minister does not want you to see. This is the reality SpiceJet does not want you to see. This is the reality DGCA does not want you to see. Because at the cockpit, at that very moment while you're sitting in the plane, there are calls of Mayday, 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 Mayday. That is a flight emergency. The flight circles back. There's engine failure in one of the engines, lands at 6:49 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, and as you get off the plane, you realize
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
we are live and we are breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. There are a lot of breaking updates for you here. We'll also tell you more about the self-styled Godman, Shankaracharya, who has been booked in the POXO case. There is a reaction coming in from him. All this and much more coming up, but the headlines first. Let's get started. The top headlines that we are tracking for you right now. Anil Ambani reaches the ED office in New Delhi in connection to probe the money laundering case. Republic accesses files which shows Anil Ambani owed money to Chinese lenders. Anil Ambani linked companies receive funds from Chinese banks. Anil owes rupees 13,558 crores to Chinese lenders. Republic has accessed exclusive videos of the face-off between Himachal and the Delhi police. And the Western Command of Indian Army today conducts a military exercise in Pathankot. Troops who demolished Pakistan during Operation Sindoor took part. And starting off with some breaking news coming in, the self-styled Godman has now dismissed all the claims against him. That's right. Big updates coming in here on Republic TV. The controversial self-styled Shankaracharya dismisses all the claims against him, calling them absolutely fake, and has called it the misuse of government, judiciary and the police. It's a huge update coming in. This is Swami Abhimuktesha Anand. Also had moved the Allahabad High Court seeking anticipatory bail in the POXO case, and he has denied all the allegations against him. He says the UP police and the administration is working together to come up with a fake case against him. Controversial self-styled Godman has dismissed all the claims against him. The FIR was made against him, was registered on the direction of a special court in Prayagraj. A court had ordered the police to act on a complaint filed by two minors who alleged sexual abuse by the accused during a recent Magh Mela in Prayagraj. So there is all these updates coming in because we see that there is a POXO case against the self-styled Godman. He is denying all the allegations. We have that statement in the denial that has come in. Let's play it out.
जांच टीम अपना काम कर रही है। उसकी तरफ से आशुतोष ब्रह्मचारी ने प्रेस वार्ता करके सारी रिपोर्ट आप लोगों को बताई है। हमने तभी कहा था कि जांच टीम क्या कर रही है, इसकी आख्या अगर शिकायतकर्ता के द्वारा, किसी हिस्ट्री शीटर के द्वारा पब्लिक में बताई जाएगी तो पुलिस का क्या प्रभाव रहेगा। खैर, अब आप कह रहे हैं कि जांच रिपोर्ट के बारे में वो पब्लिकली बता रहे हैं आप लोगों को, तो ये तो रिपोर्ट सार्वजनिक होती नहीं है, और होती भी है तो पुलिस विभाग के द्वारा होनी चाहिए। उनके माध्यम से क्यों आ रही? क्या परमानेंट प्रवक्ता अपना उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस ने उनको बना लिया है? ये सवाल है।
And tension has escalated in Maharashtra's Malegaon after a civic protest over road repairs took a religious turn inside the municipal corporation office. What began as a demand for infrastructure fixes has now led to the police action and many more political reactions coming in. Let's go ahead and play out that story for you.
Over the last 1 month, communal tensions have been simmering in pockets of Maharashtra. One such incident is reported from Malegaon this time. A video of government employees inside the Malegaon Municipal Corporation office has gone viral. They entered the electricity department premises and offered namaz while demanding road repairs in the area. This move triggered sharp reactions from the local Hindu groups. The next day, Hindu protesters gathered at the municipal commissioner's office. They recited the Hanuman Chalisa inside the building. Slogans were raised, escalating tensions further. Police had to intervene as the situation intensified. An FIR has been registered against 7 individuals. Charges include unlawful assembly and obstruction of a public servant. Sections of the Maharashtra Police Act have also been invoked. Various political leaders raised concerns for the same. BJP leader Kirit Somaiya demanded strict action.
मालेगांव महापालिका में सरकारी कर्मचारी और कुछ नागरिक नमाज भी पढ़ने लगे हैं। मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी से भी मैंने प्रार्थना की है, ये सब सरकारी अधिकारियों को ताबड़तोड़ सस्पेंड करना चाहिए।
Maharashtra Minister Nitish Rane also jumped in, reacting strongly to the development. Authorities say the situation is currently tense but under control. Security has been tightened as the investigation continues.
At a press conference by the Indian Army, we saw the Western Army Commander, Lieutenant General Manoj Kumar Katiyar, warned Pakistan of ground invasion. This warning was given, cautioning Pakistan against going ahead and taking any kind of liberties with India. We saw that he has clearly said that we are ready. The Indian Army is ready to move into Pakistan land. This is after this exercise which was conducted in Pathankot, Punjab, where the might of the Indian military was on display.
सिंदूर में जैसा आपने देखा कि हमने 7 तारीख को उनके सभी टेररिस्ट बेसिस पर हमला किया था। उसके बाद उन्होंने कुछ जवाबी कार्रवाई की और उसके जवाब में जो हमने उनके मिलिट्री बेसिस, एयर बेसिस को जिस तरह से बर्बाद किया, उसके बाद उसने फिर सीज़ फायर की मांग की। और सीज़ फायर की मांग सिर्फ डायरेक्टली हमसे नहीं की, हमको लगता है कि और भी देशों के पास उसने अपना ये मैसेज भेजा कि हमें इंडिया से सीज़ फायर करवा दो। तो ये था, हमारा मानना है कि वो हमसे लड़ाई लड़ने की क्षमता उसके पास नहीं है। जहाँ भी उसको हम चोट पहुँचाएंगे तो वो कोशिश करेगा कि हम इंडिया के साथ किसी तरीके से सीज़ फायर हासिल कर लें। सवाल था पाकिस्तान को घुसकर मारने का, वो तो ऑप सिंदूर में भी हमने किया। उसके कई इलाकों को जो कि उसके हार्टलैंड पंजाब में हैं, हमने वहाँ पर एक तरीके से उनके बेसिस को बर्बाद किया। और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर 2 में हम उसको किस तरह से आगे ले जाएंगे, ये एक ऑपरेशनल प्लान है और आप ये मान के चलिए कि इसके लिए हमारी तैयारी जारी है। और जैसा मैंने कहा कि ड्रोन्स हमारी इस तैयारी का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा हैं, क्योंकि ड्रोन्स हर ऑपरेशन में ड्रोन्स का इस्तेमाल आज की तारीख में हो रहा है। तो हम भी ड्रोन्स में बहुत महारत हासिल कर रहे हैं।
7 minutes of horror inside a government school in Rajasthan's Bikaner. A 4-year-old child was brutally mauled by a pack of stray dogs, leaving him critically injured and fighting for recovery. Here's the full story.
Four-year-old Ramu, sitting on a hospital bed, silent, fragile, and battling unimaginable pain. Wounds cover his legs and arms, and one of his ear is severely injured. Major portion of his scalp has been torn off, exposing the sheer savagery of the mauling. The innocent child went to school for the first time with his elder brother. According to reports, a group of stray dogs suddenly surrounded the 4-year-old and attacked him. The mauling allegedly continued for nearly 7 minutes. Despite the child's desperate screams, school staff reportedly failed to notice the attack. A passerby finally intervened, rescued the child and rushed him to a hospital nearby in critical condition. Doctors say the child has suffered severe injuries and will require surgery to reattach the torn skin on his head. This incident has sparked outrage and raised serious questions, leading the authorities under pressure to unchecked stray dog menace and glaring lapses in the safety.
And let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories that are coming in. Now, we are waiting for the Canadian Prime Minister's visit to India. And before that, the Canadian officials have said that they don't find any link between what's happening in Canada, the violent attacks in Canada, and India. So no links between India and violence in Canada. This is a huge update coming in. And it also shows there's a reset of diplomatic ties between India and Canada. Take a look at this report as we tell you what to expect ahead of the Canadian Premier's visit to India.
Canada appears to be recalibrating its stance on India. According to reports, senior federal officials have said Ottawa is now confident that alleged violent activities previously linked to India are no longer continuing. The statement comes ahead of Prime Minister Mark Carney's 9-day visit to India, where he is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Mumbai and in New Delhi. Officials say robust diplomatic engagement, including talks between national security advisors, has helped ease concerns. Relations between the two countries deteriorated sharply after the June 2023 killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia. Then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had cited credible evidence linking Indian agents to the killing, an allegation New Delhi strongly denied. The dispute led to diplomatic expulsions and heightened tensions between India and Canada. While some Sikh activists continue to raise concerns and stage protests, Canadian officials now say there is no indication of ongoing foreign interference tied to India. However, former national security officials maintain that security concerns remain a live issue. Both the governments are now focusing on strengthening trade and security cooperation. Meanwhile, India's High Commissioner to Canada emphasized enhanced collaboration on issues ranging from organized crime to cyber security. On the other hand, Ottawa says improved law enforcement coordination and diplomatic dialogue have created conditions for a cautious reset. Mark Carney's visit is expected to test whether both nations can move beyond a fraught chapter and rebuild ties while balancing domestic sensitivities and ongoing investigations.
Let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories that we're tracking. A stinging observation has come from the CGI on the NCERT chapter row. And it's very, very clear what the CGI said. CGI said that heads should roll. They're saying it's a calculated move to undermine the courts. Very important updates coming in here, Republic TV viewers, where we see that according to the latest update, the SC has made some very sharp observations. Supreme Court has made very sharp observations on the NCERT row and said that this was a calculated move to undermine the judiciary and the court. This is a huge update coming in, viewers, on Republic TV. I remember that this is in the context of a Class 8 textbook which had a very, very objectionable chapter according to the Supreme Court. Let's go ahead and play out the reactions we're getting on the story.
जिस पर आप लोगों ने संज्ञान लिया?
नहीं, देखिए, बार बेंच में तो आक्रोश था ही, लेकिन बार भी जो इस इंस्टीट्यूशन का पार्ट है, बार और बेंच दोनों, तो बार को भी ये बात अच्छी नहीं लगी थी। कल परसों भी हमसे कुछ लोगों ने प्रश्न किया था, तो मैंने कहा था कि ये बहुत ही आपत्तिजनक है, या ऐसी ढंग का चैप्टर नाबालिग बच्चों के सामने ये परोसना या देश के सामने ये परोसना बड़ा ही अनुचित है और इसका कहीं से कोई जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं हो सकता है। तो बार भी इस पर आक्रोशित था और बार आक्रोशित है।
सर, सभी किताबें हटा ली जाएंगी, कोर्ट ने आदेश तुरंत दिया?
हाँ, तुरंत आदेश दिया है कोर्ट ने कि सारी किताबें हटा ली जाएं। जो भी डिजिटल मीडिया के वजह से या डिजिटल माध्यम से जो भी ये परोसा गया है सबको तुरंत वापस किया जाए।
Sir, in English regarding what the Supreme Court's order today in the NCRT matter?
No, the Honorable Court was very much annoyed. They were of the opinion that this should not have happened, and learned solicitor also he agreed. All the leaders of the bar, they were present there in the courtroom. They also expressed their views that it should not have happened. The court was very serious about it, and the court said that whomsoever is responsible for this, he should be there should be an inquiry, and the man should be nabbed. He should be the proper action should be taken against him.
Sir, there is a very long process through which NCRT textbooks are written, and Supreme Court has today said that it seems to be a very calculated, motivated action.
Oh yes, that is the crux of the matter. It could not have been happened in ignorance. Something deliberate has been done. There is a solid conspiracy behind it, and purposely this has been done. It is a deliberate action on the part of some of the officials of the NCRT. The court was also of the same view. Therefore, the order for inquiry has been made.
And latest update coming in on the ongoing row. Anurag Thakur's comments have come in on the Himachal police versus Delhi police fiasco. Himachal Pradesh is known for securing the country's borders, and Himachal's youth have contributed significantly to the fight against Naxalism within the country. So I'm quoting Anurag Thakur here, and he also says, but today, Himachal's name is being associated with those who seek to defame the country. And he goes on to say the Congress leaders who disrobed on the international stage and brought shame to the country found refuge. It was in Himachal, southern Delhi. So let's play out what Anurag Thakur had to say as we saw this cop versus cop face-off.
हिमाचल प्रदेश जाना जाता है देश की सीमाओं को सुरक्षित करने के लिए और देश के अंदर भी नक्सलवाद से संघर्ष करने के लिए। हिमाचल के युवाओं का योगदान उस दिशा में था, लेकिन आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने को बचाने वालों में आ रहा है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर कपड़े खोलकर नंगा नाच, शेमलेस और शर्टलेस प्रदर्शन करने वाले कांग्रेसी कार्यकर्ता जिन्होंने देश को शर्मसार दुनिया भर के सामने किया, उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल सदन दिल्ली में मिली, हिमाचल सरकार के द्वारा मिली। उनको पनाह मिली तो हिमाचल प्रदेश की राजधानी में मिली, हिमाचल की सरकार, हिमाचल की पुलिस के द्वारा मिली। ये दुर्भाग्य है कि आज हिमाचल का नाम देश को बदनाम करने वालों के साथ जुड़ रहा है और कांग्रेस की सरकार उनकी मदद कर रही है।
लेकिन हिमाचल पुलिस किस तरीके से नाज़िर पेश कर रही है?
देखिए, कुछ भी हो, जिन लोगों ने अगर ये कुकृत्य इस तरह से किया कि देश को बदनाम किया, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मंच पर आप प्रदर्शन करिए, विरोध करिए, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं, लेकिन किस मंच पे कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से कर रहे हैं? क्या ये 60 साल सत्ता में रहने वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी का यही चेहरा है कि भारत के बढ़ते कदमों का विरोध, भारत में आने वाले निवेश का विरोध, भारत के युवाओं को रोजगार का विरोध, भारत की बढ़ती लोकप्रियता का विरोध, हर तरफ नफरत की सोच मोदी जी के खिलाफ, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ, और अब भारत के खिलाफ नफरत की जो सोच राहुल गांधी जी और कांग्रेस पार्टी की है, ये दुर्भाग्य है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश की कांग्रेस सरकार इसका हिस्सा बनी।
प्रधानमंत्री जिस तरीके से इजराइल के दौरे पर गए, लेकिन असदुद्दीन ओवैसी और तमाम विपक्ष के नेता सवाल उठा रहे हैं। असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जिस तरीके से इजराइल पे दौरे पर सवाल उठा रहे हैं, और क्या कहेंगे आप?
इजराइल भारत का मित्र है और हमने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एक आवाज़ के रूप में बात की है और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के संबोधन में बहुत स्पष्ट है भारत इजराइल की मित्रता के बारे में भी और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जो जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी हमारी है वो उसको लेके।
Okay, there was a reaction coming in from Anurag Thakur. He's saying that this kind of act was unnecessary. What we saw, the act of the Himachal Pradesh police. That you can see the pictures on your screen, and you can see what both of them were talking about. It was a face-off. A cop versus cop face-off. We actually have the entire face-off and the fiasco. Let's play out so you can hear yourself what happened.
क्या आता हूँ मैं अपनी FIR दिखाता हूँ। एक मिनट सर,
मीडिया के सामने करा
एक मिनट,
इन्वेस्टिगेशन आप मीडिया के सामने कराते हैं।
अब तो
ट्रायल मीडिया करता है। एक पुलिस वाला बोल रही है
सर, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ। एक मिनट, मैंने FIR सर एक मिनट बोल दें, क्योंकि आप जो कर रहे हैं
मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ
एक पुलिस वाले को काम करने से रोक रहे हैं।
आपके ऊपर FIR दर्ज है, आप 3 बंदों को अगवा करके ले जा रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो ज्वाइन करिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन। आपको इतनी सी बात बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं तो हम करवाएंगे, आपको करना तो पड़ेगा। आपको इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी, बस इतनी सी बात।
ठीक है, अब मैं एक बात बोल लूँ, अब सुनिए, मेरी FIR है किस तारीख की? 20 तारीख की। 20 तारीख की FIR में अरेस्ट मैंने किया आज मॉर्निंग में, ठीक है, जिसमें कि ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं 9 लोग अरेस्ट हो चुके हैं, उनके ऑलरेडी PC रिमांड आ चुके हैं। आज मैं सुबह अरेस्ट करके ला रहा हूँ। सुबह से मुझे आपने कोर्ट में सर सुनिए तो कहाँ जा रहे हैं सर, प्लीज सर वहाँ पे मैं अभी अपनी फाइल लेके आता हूँ। मैं अपनी FIR
All right, let's go straight across to my colleague. I'm being joined by Harsh. Harsh, yes, a very good afternoon to you, Harsh. You know, what we saw play out was something very unprecedented. Not every day do you see cops of 2 different states fight it out on a national highway or on the highway. That's exactly what we saw there. But I would also like to know from you, what about those 3 people who have been arrested? What is next for them now?
Well, right. In fact, this is the big breaking at this hour that all of these 3 protesters who were held from Himachal Pradesh yesterday have now been taken to the Patiala House Court here in New Delhi. They were brought to the crime branch office earlier this afternoon. They have now been taken.
All right, viewers, pictures coming in of Prime Minister Modi in Israel, and here you can see that he's holding the bilateral talks with his counterpart Netanyahu. Prime Minister Modi on a 2-day visit to Israel. The entire focus is on strengthening the India-Israel strategic partnership. Prime Minister Modi just a short while back had paid tribute at the Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem, and he's holding delegation-level talks with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and just had a meet a short while back with the president as well. Defense cooperation, trade expansion, regional security is high on the agenda. First, and exclusive pictures coming in of that delegation-level talks which are happening in Jerusalem, Israel. Prime Minister Modi is holding these talks. A short while back, you know, when the Israeli president was speaking, he's lauded India's growth. Israeli president acknowledges India's economic rise and stressed the importance of academic collaboration between the 2 nations, and has also said that it's very important. India's importance in the region is growing further and further every day. Israel is saying that India is an essential part of Middle East's great future, and Middle East is vital to India's future, underscoring the mutual dependence and the shared vision which both the leaders have agreed on. So big updates coming in. These are pictures coming in from Jerusalem, Israel, of the delegation-level talks which are being held there in Israel. And it was also a very, very important visit when we talk about cultural exchange. Prime Minister Modi was also witness to a graceful cultural presentation in Israel. And he was accompanied by the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu short while back to visit the World Holocaust Remembrance Center in Jerusalem and paid his tributes. So live pictures coming in on Republic TV of this very important visit. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and Prime Minister Modi, with both their officials holding these delegation-level talks. A very important visit of both their nations. Prime Minister Modi became the first Indian leader to address the Israeli parliament, and that was a historic event that we saw yesterday night. Prime Minister Modi is on a high-profile visit, marking a second trip to Tel Aviv after the historic 2017 visit. Prime Minister Modi has met the Prime Minister Netanyahu. Big focus would be deepening trade and defense ties. And Prime Minister Modi has been described as more than a friend. Netanyahu has showered praises on the Indian leader, Prime Minister Modi, and thanked him for standing by Israel's side after the dastardly attack on October 7, 2023. PM Modi was among the first world leaders to condemn deadly attacks by Hamas, in which more than 1,200 Israelis were killed and many were kidnapped. Let's go straight across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, who will walk us through these pictures which are coming in. Bilateral talks with the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Yes, Abhishek, over to you.
Well, yes. So that's the real substance of the entire visit, the substantive dialogue between the two sides, the brass tacks, so to say, and respective delegations. They are now meeting in Jerusalem. Prime Minister's office, where these meetings typically take place. And on the Indian side, we have seen Prime Minister's delegation. On the Israeli side, you have all the ministers sitting next to, on both sides of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Soon we will have opening comments also, Shivangi, but expectation really building up to this moment that are India and Israel going to announce that they are upgrading their strategic ties even further. Are there going to be any specific announcements insofar as the defense and tech sector are concerned? Because remember, the delegation level talks are happening, or this state visit, in fact, is panning out in a specific backdrop, which is that India has come out of Operation Sindoor and its 4 days military standoff with Pakistan, and Israel is coming out of a long war that they had to wage against Hamas, and then Iran, and then Hezbollah, and they are typically surrounded by so many enemy and non-state actors, state and non-state actors. We saw a glimpse of what's going to come in Prime Minister's address last evening at the Knesset, where he covered all the themes, including defense, technology, innovation, agriculture, among others, which are going to be focus areas. It's a long existing relationship of cooperation and collaboration. Maybe the accent this time is going to be on how to make more and more in India, and how Israel can collaborate, or Israeli companies can collaborate on making in India. And that would include a technology transfer component. And that's something I think on which the deliberations are going to focus on. So, for example, the last big deal of Heron drones that was signed during the last visit, that has already fructified on the ground with two private sector companies from India and Israel jointly manufacturing those Heron drones, which, by the way, proved legal insofar as India's Operation Sindoor hit back on Pakistan is concerned. And they are now being manufactured in Hyderabad, I believe, or in Telangana somewhere. And similarly, if there has to be a joint missile production, if there has to be a joint drones production, if there has to be a technology transfer insofar as Iron Dome and Iron Beam, Iron Laser Beam technologies are concerned, as part of India's larger project of creating an air defense called Sudarshan Chakra, which the Prime Minister had announced post-Operation Sindoor from the ramparts of the Red Fort. There is a lot that can come out of these talks that are taking place that we see in the pictures. And just in about an hour's time, we would know what exactly is on which the two sides have agreed upon by way of those agreements and MOUs that would be announced during that joint statement between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Yes. Abhishek, also what we are looking forward is to defense and tech outcomes. We'll be expecting those defense and tech outcomes. Let's go to Abhishek. I'll go to Ratna Chakrabarti, who's joining us live from Tel Aviv. And on this, I'd love to know from you, Ratna, and since you're there and you're following this from the sport, I would like to know from you that what can we expect in terms of the defense and tech outcomes from the Modi-Netanyahu talks, which are happening as we speak right now?
Yeah, of course. As some of the points were mentioned, the talks may also happen in buying Israel's Iron Beam, is one of the best inventions that have happened and have taken down the interception cost of the missiles by a significant amount. And looking at the position of India right now, what we have seen on Operation Sindhu, this would be a huge addition. There might also be an MOU to tie up with top defense systems and collaboration for offensive weapons, according to what local medias are reporting here. In the field of defensive system, deals are only expected to focus on the Israeli aerospace industry, IAI's missile defense system, the Rafael's David Sling, and the Iron Dome. So we have to see what the defense deal exactly entails, and probably we will get to know in about a bit. So a lot of the deals are expected, and according to what Jerusalem Post was reporting, the India and Israel expand defense ties with a deal worth up to $10 billion USD.
Right. Okay, we just heard, Ratna, there that the leaders in Israel are making it very clear that India is in the future for the Middle East, and Middle East is in the future for India. We have seen a very strong diplomatic signals being sent from both the sides. So what does this really mean for the future of our bilateral ties with Israel?
Well, Prime Minister also made it very clear in his speech yesterday that he has a lot of projects planned for the Middle East, which also includes Israel here. One of them, of course, is the I2U2, which was a very important element, bringing in India, Israel, UAE, and US. And also the planned India-Middle East-Europe corridor, which positions India and Israel as technology and logistic anchors, respectively, within this larger value chains that tie South Asia to Europe via the Gulf. So India is playing a very important role, and this helps Israel as well in a lot of domains, because what Israel has got the technology, and what India has is the scalability, which it could use to its own advantage.
Right. Okay. Yes. Ratna, okay, so we see that there's a new framework when it comes to technology and defense. What about AI? What about cybersecurity? These are also some of the other topics. We can expect a lot of collaboration on that front, because we see that AI is one of the, we remember the AI summit that India had hosted just a few days ago, and it got so much of accolades from leaders all over the world, and we can expect perhaps some more cooperation there with Israel.
I'm sure there would be more Indo-Israeli joint labs and accelerators when it comes to AI and cyberspace and climate tech. We have also seen the Prime Minister visit the innovation exhibition yesterday with Prime Minister Netanyahu, where he saw a lot of the state-of-art AI and cyber tech on display. And so I'm sure there would be a lot of conversation, collaboration in this field, and even when India is looking forward to actually increase this, and deepen its cooperation with Israel in defense system, some of the things, including artificial intelligence-based drones and cybersecurity, would be on the radar as well for the Prime Minister.
Right. Okay. Ratna, coming back to you, because, as we put these pictures out, we have seen that there has been a cultural exchange as well. Prime Minister Modi paying a tribute to the Holocaust victims. We have seen a cultural exchange, as it happens whenever Prime Minister Modi travels to any nation. So do you think that this is, soft diplomacy? And this, of course, is soft diplomacy. But how does soft diplomacy really figure out here when it comes to Israel and India? We're talking about people-to-people connect. This is a very important part of every visit of Prime Minister Modi's visits, especially when he goes to other countries to build diplomatic ties with them.
Yeah. So one of the good things about Israelis is they have a very positive image about India. Almost 71%, according to a survey, shows that positively looked at India. Israelis looked at India, and a lot of Israelis, young Israelis, when they enter Egyptian service in the army, the first thing they do is to take a trip to India. So the Prime Minister even highlighted that in his speech when he said yesterday that he invited even a lot of other Israelis to travel to India, and he also mentioned how when he was the chief minister of Gujarat and he came in the early 2000s, there were only a handful of yoga studios. Now, yoga has been so popularized in Israel that there is a yoga studio in every neighborhood. And that shows the soft power of India. Also, the role of Indian caregivers and construction workers and engineers that have also played a very important role in Israel. So India has a very important role to play when it comes to the people-to-people links as well. We see the Indian Jews, one of the only Jewish diasporas which have never experienced anti-Semitism in their host countries when they were there in India. So that also gives a very positive image towards India, because all the other Jewish population which have migrated to Israel, made their aliyah, they have faced persecution in European countries. But here, the Indian Jewish diaspora loves India, still preserves their cultural roots. Most of the Bene Israeli community, when you go and meet the Cochin Jews you meet, you will say they speak Malayalam, they speak Marathi. They have preserved the Indian culture. They love Indian culture. So when the Prime Minister meets this Jewish diaspora here, it also signals the fact that, which Prime Minister Netanyahu even highlighted in his speech yesterday, that he's very thankful for the fact that Indian Jews have never faced persecution or anti-Semitism while they were in India.
Ratna, remember that address of the Prime Minister Modi at the Knesset? You are there in Israel, so you would be the perfect person to tell us how often do world leaders come to the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, and give an address there? Because this was the first time an Indian leader has done that. How often do you see that happen?
Well, it's not very often that you would see that red carpet is laid for world leader visiting to address the Knesset. And even a lot of exceptions were made for Prime Minister Modi. For example, Sarah Netanyahu didn't appear in public for the last 5 weeks after Miami. This is the first time she went to receive the Prime Minister in the airport with Prime Minister Netanyahu. And after that, we have seen Prime Minister Netanyahu accompanying Prime Minister Modi everywhere. And even with the Knesset speech as well, there were some opposition leaders who walked out during Prime Minister Netanyahu's speech because of the domestic implications that they have. But the moment the Prime Minister Modi walked to the podium, every single person walked back in. They were eager to listen to the Indian Prime Minister. And also, as an Indian here in Israel, it gives a very sense of pride for us, the fact that how India was represented there. All the major newspapers, including the Jerusalem Post, if you see yesterday, had a front page talking about the Prime Minister Modi's visit, which is very rare for other leaders, even who have visited Israel in the recent past, to see that kind of warmth and reception.
Okay, Ratna, hold on for a second. We are waiting for the joint statement of the two leaders. So just waiting for that. It'll begin any time now. Right hand of your screen, we're standing by for the joint statement of both the leaders, Prime Minister Modi and the Prime Minister Netanyahu. We just saw earlier as well that Prime Minister Modi has invited the Israeli president for an India visit. So these are the pictures that we are getting for you. The bilateral talks are underway on your left hand. The bilateral talks are underway right hand. A joint statement which will begin any time now. Prime Minister Modi is on a high-profile visit. This is a second trip to Tel Aviv after the historic 2017 visit. PM Modi has met with the Israeli Prime Minister, and he has also met with the president, inviting him for an India visit. Netanyahu showered praises on the Indian leader, thanked him for standing by Israel's side after the dastardly attacks on October 7, 2023. PM Modi was among the first leaders to condemn the deadly attacks by Hamas, in which almost 1,200 Israelis were killed and some 250 were kidnapped. Like Ratna was telling us, who's reporting live for us, Ratna was telling us that we have to wait for some more details to come in specifically when it comes to defense deals, FTA. Okay, let's go back to Ratna. Ratna, we're waiting for the joint statement of Prime Minister Modi and Netanyahu. That will begin in a short while from now. And we're going to wait and watch, what have both the leaders spoken about and the further collaboration that both the countries will be working on and working together. Now, Prime Minister Modi has invited Israeli president for an India visit. How do you think that is going to go? Because we've seen that the chemistry between the leaders was fantastic. It was clearly on display in the Knesset. Long hugs, standing ovations from the assembled crowd and lawmakers. And now the Israeli president has been invited for an India visit. So a lot to look forward to this year.
It's true. In fact, the Israeli president was very excited to host Prime Minister Modi. He was supposed to visit, the Israeli president supposed to visit India, but the domestic problems that Israel is facing, especially with the war and tensions with Iran, the visit was postponed, but the Prime Minister invited him to visit. And this symbolizes that India has really moved from that cautious engagement pre-2014 to a very deep engagement with Israel. And they're trying to get more deeper into this engagement with Israel with more security arrangements. And this shows the high-level visits that we are seeing now with the Prime Minister coming here and the President now invited to visit. Even Prime Minister Netanyahu was supposed to visit India earlier this year, but that got cancelled. So we're seeing a lot of the high-level visits, but I'm sure there would be a reciprocal visit by the Prime Minister of Israel as well sometime in the future.
Right. Ratna, you know, when Prime Minister Modi addressed the Knesset, and we were just speaking about that, Prime Minister Modi addressed the Israeli parliament, and he spoke about India is absolutely uncompromising. We don't compromise when it comes to terrorism. There's zero tolerance policy towards terrorism, no double standard. Now, this is not just Prime Minister Modi speaking there, the Knesset, Ratna. This is India's stand on terrorism, even when we talk about global forums. Very important because we see that Prime Minister Modi has supported the Gaza Peace Initiative, saying it is necessary to sustain the process of peace building in the region. How do you see this comment of the Prime Minister Modi, given the regional tensions?
Prime Minister Modi is actually visiting Israel at a very crucial time because the 48-hour deadline that the United States gave to Iran actually collapsed, and the Geneva talk starts from today. So, and the United States have made it clear that they were open for a limited strike on Iran if they don't get back on the table. So he has, and there's a military, of course, build-up right now, as we see in the Middle East, with a lot of planes landing in Israel. So he's visiting at a very crucial time. So he made it very clear that India also stands for peace, and he supports the idea of the Gaza peace. But also at the same time, one of the things that India has done was, India was one of the first countries after October 7 to acknowledge that it was an act of terror, because there were citizens and innocent civilians who were murdered by the barbaric act of terrorism on October 7 by Hamas. And he stressed that both India and Israel are victims of terrorism. And he emphasized that, like Israel, India also have no double standards on terrorism, and we have also endured the pain of terrorism for a long time. So this makes the Israelis understand that why the Indian Prime Minister knows what Israel is going through, because we have gone through the same problem with terrorism back in India.
Right. Okay, and we're waiting for that joint statement, which will be coming in very soon. So you can see on your left hand of your screen, we see this is the address, the Knesset address that Prime Minister Modi made. Then we see just an hour or two back, Prime Minister Modi visited the Holocaust Memorial, paid tribute to the victims of the Holocaust in the presence of the Prime Minister Netanyahu, and the bilateral meet, which is happening right now. So 3 big moments from Prime Minister Modi's Israel visit, bilateral talks happening as we speak, and the historic Knesset address that we showed you. It was a very big address, like we were speaking, Ratna, because not every day, like you discussed, a world leader gets to go to the Knesset and give an address. Coming back to you, let's talk about the Indian diaspora, because Indian diaspora waits for Prime Minister Modi. Wherever Prime Minister Modi goes, they wait to greet him. They greet him with a lot of enthusiasm. And when will that address happen of Prime Minister Modi to the Indian diaspora in Israel? Because every time the Indian diaspora says that even though they might not be staying on their motherland here in India, their heart is still Indian.
No, that's true. And in fact, that's what the Prime Minister made it clear yesterday in his speech when he said that India was the motherland and Israel is the fatherland for a lot of the Indian Jews who have migrated from Israel and are right now have migrated from India and are now residing in Israel. And that's something which the Indian Jews, the Jewish diaspora here actually feels, because they haven't left their Indian roots. They're extremely proud of the Indian roots, and they're doing well when it comes to business, when it comes to serving Israeli military or police. And that's what the Prime Minister actually mentioned, that he's extremely proud of the Indian Jewish diaspora. So is the Indian Jewish diaspora also proud of the Indian roots, because it's not every day that you would see that the Jewish diaspora, there are American Jewish diaspora, there are the Jewish diaspora, but they will not be as same excited to see their president or their state of leaders coming and queuing up and then talking about their positive experience in the country. Yesterday, the Prime Minister interacted with a few members of the Indian Jewish diaspora, and today as well, before he departs to India, he will actually have another set of conversation with the prominent members of the Indian Jewish diaspora here in Israel.
Right. Okay. And it's very obvious, Ratna, with all these pictures that we are getting for our viewers, waiting for the joint statement coming up next. But, what Prime Minister Modi, his historic speech and the kind of red carpet welcome that Prime Minister Modi was accorded, it's very clear that India is an important partner to Israel. But I think we're getting some more breaking news coming in. Let's go straight across to the next set of breaking news we're getting for our viewers. Okay, JNU, pictures coming in from JNU and
गेट से देख रहे हैं जहां पर यूजीसी को लेकर लगातार जो छात्र हैं वो प्रोटेस्ट करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। उनका साफ तौर पर कहना यह है कि यूजीसी लागू होना चाहिए और इसी को लेकर लगातार आपको बता दें जेएनयू में या फिर आसपास की जो यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं वहां पर भी प्रोटेस्ट हुआ और आज यहां पर यूजीसी को लेकर एक बार फिर से आयसा ग्रुप के जो लोग हैं, जो जेएनयू के छात्र हैं लेफ्ट विंग के, वो प्रोटेस्ट करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। लोगों के हाथों में झंडा है और लगातार नारेबाजी करते हुए नजर आ